God, it's been a while since I did this. So I'm just like looking around. Things have changed. Oh my God. So anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. I have Lady Red with me on the panel. I have my girl Debbie on the panel. And of course, I have myself. We're going to discuss some TikTok BS, which is BS. We're going to talk a little Diddy BS and shit that's going on. And Debbie has a lot to say, but Diddy, and I didn't realize Debbie had been really watching the trial at all.
Not really. It's just in the background. I miss a lot. I try to catch up in the evenings with certain content creators, but how can you miss all the debauchery?
Ooh. So we were talking earlier, Debbie. And so,
Mhm.
guys, Debbie and I have been really, really, really busy. Debbie has really been busy at work. And we will be doing a live tomorrow. We're trying to decide what time. I'm gonna leave it up to Debbie to catch up on all of the reality TV stuff. We haven't forgotten. I've been watching. Debbie's been watching. And now she's telling me about a new show that I wasn't aware of. And Debbie, there's a new show coming on called Virgins as well.
Yeah, I might dip into that.
Okay, so we have 1,000 pound roommates, is what you were telling me about.
Roomies, yeah.
Roomies, roomies,
Mhm.
roomies. Okay, so and I've been watching Hunt for
Good
Love. Oh
Lord.
my,
Excuse me for a second. Did you just say
yes.
1,000-pound roommates? Please tell me that they're on the ground floor. Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, they're actually on the top floor. It's a beautiful
Oh,
apartment with a lovely balcony. Like the TLC, like told you earlier, Heidi, they did a discredit to this show the way how they presented it in the trailer.
uh-huh.
But once you see the first episode, I think it's a I think it's going to be quite interesting to look at it. When you put aside, their jokes and everything, there's a quite unusual dynamic going on. Undiscovered past traumas. There's a child involved. There's serious health crises going on. It's not like the clown show that Thousand Pound Sisters has turned into. And hopefully, there will be successes in progressions in health with regards to these women, like how we've seen on Thousand Pound Best Friends.
Oh,
Um, it's
oh,
different. It's
I'm gonna
different.
watch. Articulate! My baby, how are you? I am so happy, Articulate, that everything worked out for you. Guys, this is Articulate, in case you don't know who she is. Articulate, you owe me that interview. Don't forget. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Marsha E. Chantel, Wisco Gal, Snuggle Bunny, So Done, Lolly and Pops. Good morning. Good morning. Sweet Potato. Good morning. Articulate, I am so happy to see you. Hi, Just Beetle. Um, Articulate owes me an interview since everything is settled, and I really want to get that interview done. Oh, you're getting ready to go spend the day together. Yes. So, do you guys know who Articulate is?
I don't, but I love her channel name. Love your name so much. So creative how you wrote it.
She's on
And hi, Chantel.
Instagram.
Good to see you.
Articulate is one of Hollywood's most famous people's granddaughter.
Wow. Royalty.
Yes, royalty. You can look at her picture and see who she looks like. That's royalty right there. I am so happy for you. And you know what? When everything was settled, she sent me a message, and I was actually smiling and just laughing so hard because I knew everything would work in her favor. Yep, we will do it. We will definitely do it. But yep, I'm just happy to see her. But we still keep in communication. So let's
Wait, can I add
yes,
to your thing real quick? You were
yes.
talking about new reality shows.
Hmm.
Did you all see that there's going to be I think they just did their first episode. I'm going to catch it. But the new generation, did you see that?
Well,
With
I heard about it.
the
That's what.
Real Housewives'
Yes.
daughters and stuff?
Yeah, Candice Burris' daughter. What's her
Kim
name? Tia
Zolciak's?
Giudice. Yeah.
Yep, and that Kim Zolciak's daughter saying that they took all her money.
Yeah, her mother took all her money.
Yeah, that's what she
Yes.
said.
What's her name? Is it Ariel, right? Or is it eight? Was it Ariel said that? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I
Here's
am
some new
too.
intriguing stuff.
Hey, Wisco gal. She's
Yeah,
my neighbor, like literally my neighbor. We're just a couple counties apart.
I know. Because when you told me where you were from, I said, huh. I said, I said, okay. I said, I wonder if which I forgot that Wisco was following you. Okay. Yeah. So Articulate is my girl. She's been a friend of mine for quite some time. And she keeps me in the straight and narrow. She tells me, keep your IG page clean. Yes, ma'am. She does a lot of marketing and personal stuff for a lot of the reality show people. And
That's
she's
so
also
cool.
in really good with Pitbull. She is one of
Wow.
his yeah, she's one of his publicists. So that's Articulate.
You know what I really like about Pitbull is how he takes the people that aren't, I don't know, he gives people a hand up. You know what I mean? He's done a lot of collaborations with not as great as known people. I just
Mm-hmm.
like that about him. He is just humble that way. I think
Yeah.
that's always been really cool about him.
Yeah. Yeah, Kim Zolciak stole from her daughter. So yes, we're gonna cover it. I think I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see what's going on, and I'm
I
glad
would
you
love to
mentioned it.
cover that with you. I'd be all
Yes,
in on that.
let's cover it. Let's cover it. Let's
Yes.
cover it. Okay, Debbie, let's get on with Diddy because let me tell you, Lady Red and I have some stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you are a big fan of villains, if you're a big fan of Kit Kat or whoever you may be following, you're not gonna like a lot of shit that I'm gonna be saying. But I'm just letting you know up front. All right, so Debbie,
Well, there's that.
there's that. Um,
Diddy did what now?
Diddy do it? Yes, he did it. Debbie, what has stood out to you in this Diddy trial so far, especially this last week?
Well, the last week we had Jane Doe on the docket, and
And who's Jane? Who's Jane
we're,
Doe?
we're not supposed to say, but people have been speculating that I'm not saying the name. I'm gonna try to honor her anonymity.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Uh, could it be someone that 50 Cent dated?
It could be a famous rapper, someone in the industry.
and, and what did he call her? He called her a little what?
Well, right now I know they calling her Jane Doe.
Yes, we're not going to say her name. Anyway, go ahead, Debbie. So, what stood out to you with that?
Well, what stood out? What stood up? What laid down? What cocked up? I don't know. It was a lot this week. It was a lot. She helped the prosecution. She also helped the defense, but
Mhm.
they ended it off with a bang, saying that she basically still on Puff's payroll
Yep,
because he's still paying her rent,
he's
and
still paying her rent.
she admitted that he was her primary source of income.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but here's the thing, though. I wouldn't even call that income because he's not actually giving you the money. He went into the contract with your landlord to pay him directly. Um, Key factors to me was the financial director that of Bad Boy and all the subsidiaries or whatever came up and gave the accounting, which is very important to proving the case. Um, I am concerned about that piece of evidence that we were talking about earlier, the text message.
Uh-huh.
Prosecution is trying to get that entered into evidence. Defense is denying it. Prosecute. It could help the prosecution to get it entered into evidence if one of the three participants would testify. The three participants in the text chain: Puff, KK, and D.
And D Rock. And who did they name? Hi, Kendra. Who did they name as
Out.
his co conspirator, Debbie?
Huh?
Who did they name as a co-conspirator?
Well, you said KK.
KK. I told y'all Yesleen Maxwell the second. KK, Kristen Curran, is her name Corinne, whatever her damn name is, that's his co-conspirator. Now, she was facilitating all kinds of shit. Brandon's name came up, you know, the mule. Um, I want to know if she's going to testify. So you and I got into a debate this morning about whether or not Cassie
Mhm.
received immunity.
And she did not. Based on the things that I'm seeing and what I remember hearing, she did not.
Hi, Sarah motherfucking Z. Good morning, sweetie. Girl, Cassie could be held as a co-conspirator as well. That's why I'm thinking when her attorney met with the prosecutors and the government, they worked out a deal because she was facilitating as well as Diddy, even though she was making the payments.
Hmm.
She could be a co-conspirator. Look at his ex-assistant James. He had immunity because he was driving him when he had the ARs on his lap going to go get
Hmm.
shook.
Yeah,
Look
but
at all these people that are now testifying it.
I honestly don't think that they are going to charge her with anything, and here's why. We had a woman that was 9 months pregnant, about ready to deliver, and she did
Yep,
deliver like 2 weeks in. A healthy baby boy, I think,
yep,
thank
it's a
God.
boy. Mm-hmm.
Um, and also the age at which she was looped into this toxic relationship was very, very young. She was
Mm-hmm.
groomed up. You know, she sustained a decade of
Yep.
this. um she was a very sympathetic character who seems to have gone to a lot of therapy and acknowledges her wrongdoing. She acknowledges her wrongdoing, and I applaud her for not taking immunity. I really do, because let it fall where it may with her. But I don't think prosecution would get through with trying to bring her to trial. Honestly, court of public opinion is in her favor, and a monster groomed her and then abused her for a decade.
Okay, but
She's
what do
had
you think?
enough.
What do you think? I'm asking both of you. These people are saying Cassie could have left at any time. Look at all these other women that have come behind her.
Yeah, I think those people are not talking from any reference of abuse. That's
Right.
all.
They say Cassie could have left at any time, and she's proven that when she did leave, he would track her down.
He would drag her back.
Yeah.
D Rock was one of them. Roger
And he had
Bond.
a long reach with some high high people. You know what I'm saying? Like his reach went far.
And now we're finding out the cops that were on payroll.
There's that. That's part of that reach.
Another interesting thing was the security officer and the director of security from the IHG, the Intercontinental
Yep.
Hotel in California. Their testimony was very interesting.
So when that video was released, I said they got that from Diddy's collection. Now, I'm thinking the person that took a copy of it gave it to CNN after the raid, but the video that CNN showed was edited. The video that was shown during the hearing was the unedited version. Then you had a forensics person up there that does video. He was talking about he authenticated the sex videos, the audios. So people want them to show all of this in court. They're not going to show they're only going to show what they need to show. And Debbie just dropped, she'll come back. They're going to show only what they need to show. Now, I want you to hear this phone call that he did with Jane Doe. Let's listen to this recording And she recorded it, or he recorded it, and they got it into evidence. So let's listen to what he said. So he's telling this woman, this is a fucking job. So you just put yourself, hi, Callie, babe, right there. They've proven 2 so far, well, possibly 3. They've proven. They only needed to do 2, but they're still going. So let's listen to this.
Her to the public.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know. You think you silent treating me, and you think I'm going to be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence. And ain't nobody threatening you, and I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you can be mad, I can have a spat, we can have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job. That's really, that's
your job. You better get on your job. Facilitating prostitution. Get on your job, is what he said.
That's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna
Meaning
work like
he's
that over
paying
here.
her rent, $10K a month, which he was trying to use that woman's home as his freak off spot.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to leave this message, but you have left me no choice. So either you go in the direction of like moving on and like that, or you like just like have me just keep moving. Ain't no threat. I'm just being clear. I can't do this with you every time you get up.
This voicemail they did play in court today for everybody.
So he's telling you that's her job. That's facilitation. What do you think, Debbie?
Okay. Something between Jane Doe and Cassie that they had in common. They actually thought they were in a relationship with this individual.
Yep, they did.
And
Cassie survived 2 years.
Right. And in this voicemail, you can see that he was not in any sort of romantic relationship with anyone. Everybody is an employee because everybody is paid to do his bidding.
Yep.
And I think it's like Cassie, it has to be like something critical with each of these ladies that really made them like snap and say, I don't deserve this. Because like Jane Doe said, I think it was her birthday. She thought it was just going to be the 2 of them. And he arranged a hotel night. A hotel night with her. And you notice he had different names for each of the women. Hotel night with Jane Doe and freak offs with Cassie. And I think as you went down in his esteem, it just like the names were more disgusting. Like Cassie, he used her like a rag doll. He had no respect for her. And I think from the beginning, he had no respect for her. And that's why it was freak offs, because that's a real derogatory name. With this woman, I think she was older, had more life experience, already went through the first situation with her child's father. And he had to do it differently with her. He had to make her think she was being romanced. But again, huge wake-up call on her birthday. She thought she was going to have, a romantic evening just with him. She was deluded into thinking that doing these things were part of pleasing her partner. But she showed up to 3 big black dicks to plow her open on her birthday. And he was like, you got a bracelet or a necklace he gave her? Be happy with that. And then he was a little miffed when she said, I have to be awake and out of here by 8 o'clock to go and get my kid. And that interrupted his plans. And that was telling him that she didn't want to do the drugas.
Yep. And he also, they showed the text messages where she's telling him she doesn't want to do this anymore. She doesn't want any
Yes,
part of it. And
that was
he
as a
forced her.
result.
So that's
Yeah.
coercion.
What was his girl please? I think he told her when
Yep.
she said she
Girl,
deserved
please.
more and she didn't want
Yep.
to do this anymore
Yep.
because she was getting UTIs every week. Come on now.
Yep.
Well, do
And
you all remember years ago when 50 Cent was talking shit about he had gotten a picture or gotten a video, something about Cassie, and he was really pissed about it?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And he was calling Jane Doe little sex worker.
Okay.
Because he probably got a picture because you know that she was targeted. You know that to get back at her
At 50.
partner.
Look, at 50. But when she said they entered into a love
Allegedly.
contract, she was with them when he got arrested in that hotel. Do you know that's who that was, right?
Oh dear. Oh
Mm-hmm.
dear.
Yep. They were getting ready to have a party. You know, they had the pink, cocaina. They were ready to roll. They had the E, the X. They had everything ready to go. I'm so sick of hearing about fucking baby oil. Guys, I have not bought baby oil since he was arrested. And
I
I
have
used to
not
wipe
either.
baby oil in my bath water. Damn,
Mm.
Vote. Does 50 know
I
that?
haven't bought any either, and my Johnsons and Johnsons ran out a month ago, and
I'm serious. I
I've
haven't bought
seen
it
it in the
yet.
aisles a few times, and I'm just like, I can't.
I
People are
can't
gonna
even
be
look
looking
at
at me
it.
weird.
Oh my God. But I'm telling you, he told this woman he put $15,000 worth of stuff in her home for hotel nights. He didn't want to go to hotels anymore. Debbie brought that to my attention. He wanted to use her residence as primary place to do their freak offs.
Oh,
Well,
and
he
think
was
about
paying
all of
for
the
it.
testimony about the cleanups of how terrible the hotels were, and he
Yep.
wanted to do that to her home.
Yep.
He
Mhm.
was paying for it.
He was paying for it. And to this day, he's still, I don't know if he's going to be paying it, but the contract is with the landlord. I think she
Mm-hmm.
got to be finding somewhere to move to. And she said her job was taking care of him, being good to him, making sure he was happy, which included the hotel nights.
That sounds like a dominant submissive
Thank
relationship.
you. Thank you. But he bought her veneers. Now, this is the same one they've proven the drug trafficking. When she moved stuff from LA with Chris, Yesleen number two, when she was facilitating getting her the drugs in a white package and putting it in her suitcase, and her traveling from California to Miami. Now, why didn't he put her on a private jet?
Well, she ain't worth a private jet. Services were rendered, right?
Yeah.
So then, bitch, find your way home. I'll put you on a PG if I need to get you here real quick.
Yep.
But once the services have been rendered, there's no more responsibility.
But when she said she texted him and told him she hadn't seen him in a while, except for when they do hotel nights. And he told her to get over it. Look at the roof over your head. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what? She told him that the only reason he has her around is because he pays for that house.
Mm-hmm.
And she felt obligated to perform those things for him.
And that was key phrasing.
Yep.
Because it was an exchange. He paid her rent, so she felt obligated. She had to go and get her ass busted out by 3 big black dicks. There you go. That's the kind of life I want, girl.
And then she was talking about, it was one guy that she wanted him to wear a condom. First he said no, and then she said, "You promised me." And then he gave the entertainer, the escort, a condom to wear. Hi, Mari. Good
But
morning.
here's the dynamic in that, right? The partners, the other actors or performers in this for him had no problem using a prophylactic. None. Diddy had a problem with it.
So
That's another form of control.
yeah.
And it's just weird.
Well,
Yep.
and Diddy's into visceral fluids. I mean, we can all definitely see that he's into that kind of thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah, because she couldn't clean off in between.
he's nasty.
So what people are not getting is that they're proving the drug trafficking. They asked her, who would give you the drugs? She brought up Brandon's name. She brought up Christina's name, who was publicly named by the prosecutors in court as a co-conspirator. I'm like, damn. So this is not good. This is not good at all. So what did you
No.
guys think? I mean, do we think he's going to walk? Or do we, oh God, you changed your name. Do you think he's going to walk or do you think he's going to do some time?
It's still a toss up for me because, and I say this, there's like 6 very good attorneys on the prosecution. I think they, I don't know.
I don't know why
I'm
Brian Steele
hesitant.
is representing him. I'm serious. I'm losing respect for Steele, even though everybody
But
deserves
he's
an attorney.
doing his
He's
job.
doing his
And
job.
that's what I am concerned about. He is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the woman that they put up to cross examine some of these witnesses.
Yep.
They
Yep.
are
The woman
very
that
good.
actually, she was in a YSL trial.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good. But let me tell you, when she said, after that birthday party thing, he got up and left and took, was it Young Miami on vacation, on this elaborate vacation? I think it was Young Miami. She wrote him a message and said, "You lied to me." And she said, "I didn't want to do that at all on my birthday." But he had thrown the party for somebody else before he threw her that party. But he was with Young Miami at that
Before
time
he threw
as
her
well.
that party.
Yep,
That wasn't a party.
that
Okay,
wasn't a
keep going.
party. But she has been on the stand. Has she been on the stand longer than Kathy?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Kathy. But
And
she's putting
that
it all out there. And what did you think about the fact that they kept calling this hotel and bugging him, and then got his home number, offered them 50,000, and when he went there, he gave them 100,000.
they kept calling about the video from the Intercontinental. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And the security officer was like, I don't know, I don't have access. So he was lying. He said, I'm gonna take this to my boss. And then the
Mhm.
boss agreed to it.
And
I
the
was just
boss
like,
got, you see, he wound up taking 20,000. They split that 100,000, but he was
mm-hmm.
brought to P. Diddy's home in LA.
Mm.
So I'm just like, they've already proven the drug trafficking. You can't tell me Brandon, the ex-football player, is
Mm-hmm.
not going to come in there and testify and he didn't cut a deal, because he was the one that the drugs were found on. And all of a sudden he's got to complete a program, but you did all of that at the airport. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Debbie, what are we typing?
Mm.
She is going at it. But $100,000 for a video that was later used against him, because his ego is that big that you've got to keep all of this shit.
Yeah. It's
So
so
what
weird.
moments did you have for the defense, Debbie? I'm reading your comment.
When she admitted to still being on the payroll as of yesterday. The part about the house, like her saying, because this is what I was talking with Snuggle Bunny about. Does she have to live in um, that expensive of a home. No. But don't forget, she's getting anywhere between seven and $10,000 per month child maintenance for her child, from the father.
Uh-huh.
But she's not leaving herself any leeway. Do I blame her for asking for money? Because deep in your mind, you knew you were an employee, so why not get a wage? Um, she asked for 15 or 20, and he said, I'll give you 10. She was stupid to me to wanting to use all 10 to live in towards rent, and rent that somebody else is paying, and you're not taking a cut for a rainy day. Like, she had no backup plan. She was just living in the moment, ass
Yep.
up, and it didn't make sense. What supposedly her ex-partner said about her was proven true. She was acting like a hoe.
A
Like,
little sex worker. A little sex worker.
it's
Well,
not.
and you got to remember, there's a bunch of drugs involved here too. You have active people using. They're not going to think right. They're not.
No, I believe she was only partaking while during the hotel visits.
Okay.
She has a child. She is concerned, and the thing is, what gave her away was when she was like, oh, I want to go and do OF, because she had a friend who was making a lot of money on it, and
On
she had a
things.
plan. She was only going to do without clothes. She wasn't going to do like anything else, just photography. She had a plan. She knew she was going to make some money. Her flaw in that was that she went and discussed with Puff, and he said no. So of course he's going to say no, because he knew you'd make a killing on it based on association, and that would give you independence. And he needs financial independence over these people.
Well, he had it. Now, what about when Eddie Garcia said he was worried that Cassie would file a police report? And then Diddy got her on a FaceTime call and told her to let him know that she wanted this to go away too. And he had him to sign an NDA. Now, he
Mhm.
testified under immunity as well. So okay. So, Debbie, you're right. Cassie didn't. The ex assistant James,
Mhm.
Grant, whatever his name is, James Grant, he had immunity, and
Yeah, that first
Eddie
assistant.
had immunity. Yes, and
Mhm.
Eddie had immunity. Yes, those two. Those.
Um, Wisco, I would say Cassie was more addict behavior than Jane Doe, due to the substances that they were taking, because Cassie admitted to being on everything, ecstasy, the white powder, the horse tranquilizer. She was on everything, but then she was in it for a much more prolonged period of time, and she had the punching bag situation going on. I'm trying to be very careful with the words.
I know what
Um,
you're saying, but
but this gal, it seems like she was just doing E. I don't think she. I think, and actually, she had to do lower dosage, because the first time he gave it to her, she
she
had
was
a
thrown up.
really bad
Yep,
reaction.
yep, yep. She
Um,
did.
Yeah, so she was in lower doses, and remember, she always used that child, and it seems and this is why the reason why he was with her was not because of her, but was because who her child's father is, because he does not like to be with people doing these things when they have children involved. Because remember, she admitted it could be anywhere from 12 hours to 3.5 days doing
Yep,
this. And when she coming in on her birthday said, I gotta be awake and coherent and out of here by 8 o'clock the next morning because of my kid,
yep.
that interferes. If she was not in a relationship with who she was in previously, he would have never looked at her.
And I think he did it to get back at him, and
Yes.
that answers a lot of stuff. But what about the fact that he took all these people like D's after he had them sign? He had their home address.
Mhm.
This was an intimidation tactic.
Yep. A control and intimidation
Yes.
tactic. Yeah.
If you've already signed an NDA and everything else, why do you need their IDs? Why do you need to know where they live at? Why do you need to know their families? Why do you need to know any of this?
To get their legal statistics, one, just in case he needs to track them down through his buddies at the police force. He could just send over a copy of or a photograph of their ID and they can be traced. And
So
he could tell them that too.
now, what did you think when Garcia said that he contacted the government, well, law enforcement, in June of 2024? He contacted him. This is after Diddy was arrested. Now, I'm trying to remember, when did the video leak happen?
You mean
Oh,
on
was this
CNN?
before Diddy got arrested? He said he contacted them, but he wasn't honest about his involvement. But ever since then, he's been honest with everything he said.
Come out. Hold on. I'm tracking when that came out on CNN. May 17, 2024.
So he contacted them in June.
Oh.
After that, yep. After the video was released, he contacted them in June. And then they had the financial director, the chief financial officer came in, and they were asking him about the money. He had no idea about it. Sean Combs was just girl, he was using company funds. That's racketeering. That's an enterprise.
Yeah, because the chief accountant, like, was it the chief accountant that they asked, do you know what do you know what Cassie did? And he was like, no.
Yep.
But she had a salary, but he had no idea what she did. Oh my God. Like, I would love to see the org chart for all of his enterprises. It'd be just so funny. And the way how the money came in and outflow was very interesting to me.
Yes.
Because there was no. Okay, so money came in from who is it, Denara or whoever does Ciroc. Like, money came in for his
Revolt, Ciroc, all of those.
Right.
It
has a brand name that houses all of those different brands, right? So the money would come in from there. Okay, so how did the money go out? Well, somebody asked for so much and so much a thousand, and somebody asked for so much and so much a thousand, and and Puff, he always needed cash, and I was like, what organization works like this? The mob. The mob.
But he worked for him from, what was it, 4 years? 4 years. I was like, oh my God. No. No, he was Bad Boys for 4 years. And then for his other companies, he ended it in 2017. But for the chief financial officer for Bad Boys, it was from 98 to 2012. And then for the other companies, he was 98 to 2017. So you're a chief financial officer. Everything that you sign, it goes out. When tax time comes, you can be held liable.
Hold on. When did Diddy start diversifying?
And did you see that the records that he had matched the fact that when Regina, Cassie's mom, says she had to wire him $20,000 because he was threatening her daughter's safety? That was all there as well.
Interesting.
Well, when you go back into his history, though, wasn't he kind of groomed to run a mob-like business?
Yeah, his mom did this. His father was a gangster. He was shot up in the car because he was talking to the government.
Not to give him excuse, I'm just saying it's nothing new to him. He's been doing it his whole life. His mom was doing it. His grandma.
Oh my God! Wait, you said when did that guy go to the other companies in 2012?
He was 98 to 2012 for Bad Boy, And then for the other entities, it was 98 to 2017.
Okay, so that's when Diddy started rebranding and diversifying his portfolio, because it was basically music up until 98, and then he went into clothing with Sean John, and then that, went out of style. But around 2022, 2023, we saw Revolt Media and TV come in to fashion. And then when was the vodka deal done? Because this is when he learned the tricks of like celebrity. You start off with something tangible, but then you start selling your name as a brand. So you start doing licensing. So
Yep.
basically, you do nothing but sell your name to a product, and you reap the rewards of it. And he was brilliant at taking Ciroc vodka from nothing to something that people actually wanted to drink.
But think about it. He did Ciroc after Ludacris did his. But here's the question. When Ciroc wanted to sever ties with him, they knew something was going on. That's what was confusing. They knew something was going on. They bought him out.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew something was going on. And I need to ask my sons, how do you feel? You know what? How do you feel now? Because that's the only thing they used to wear. And my grandson, Sean John. That's all they wore. They would go fishing in Sean John. Okay. I said, Diddy needs to come up with a fishing line too. Shit. Get some fishing poles.
My glasses are Sean John.
Oh, damn. You better
They
get
are.
rid of them glasses.
I do. I have Diddy glasses. I actually asked my husband, I'm like, can I get new glasses? Like, why? You just got them like a year or two ago. And I'm like, because they're Diddy glasses. He just
The
bursted out
Diddler
laughing.
glasses. Girl, I don't know. They might be look, they might be worth a lot of money after this.
I don't like them. I don't like them. I look like
But
Mrs.
Okay,
Magoo.
listen to this. This is interesting.
okay.
Okay, so I put in the Googler. Okay, this is my source, the Googler. I'm being very upfront.
Okay, Google is your
When
friend.
when did Diddy sign his deal with Diageo? So it says Combs Wines and Spirits struck a marketing agreement with Diageo in 2007 for the
Mm-hmm.
marketing and promotion of Ciroc. In 2013, Diageo co-purchased De Leon with Combs Company.
Mm-hmm.
So I always wondered why they paid him out so much. He was really intertwined with Diageo. It was more
Yep.
than just a licensing agreement. This is I wonder how far and how deep Diageo's into this.
Well, we're gonna see. But then Nancy Grace was saying she found out that since he's been on trial, he's been making $4 million. What is it, a week or a month? I'm like, what the fuck is he make? I hope they could, because they can seize that money, because they're showing the trail with the money was coming from the company.
Right. The
Do they not
government
realize that?
they do, and the government is letting the money come in because they're going to seize it all. Remember, he had to liquidate a lot going
Yep.
into this, and he was probably trying to pay off people going into this. So why not recoup some of those losses? Let them make, all of that money every week over week, compound interest, all that shit. If the government wins this case, it's all theirs, because they've got their eyes on all of his enterprises. And if they got Trump, they can get him. So let him wish. Let him wish. He's probably saving up to buy a pardon. Everything's
Now,
a settlement.
I don't know if you guys remember the interview that he did about his daddy, right? What's his daddy's name? Melvin.
Mhm.
He said that his daddy, I told you his daddy was shot up. And at the time I think he was like 3 or 4. But he said he never wanted to be like his dad, because we know what that gets you. You're either gonna be in jail or dead. Sean, you're just like your daddy, and your mother raised you to be a monster, just like your daddy was.
See, when he said he doesn't want to be like his daddy,
I think
I
that's when he
don't
changed
think
his
he
name to Brother Love. That was like 13. How long
No,
ago did he go to Brother Love?
but I don't think he was talking about the life he was living. I think he was talking about getting caught and getting popped and left for dead in the park. He didn't condemn anything his dad did. He was condemning the dad getting caught.
Yep. I think that's because they were bragging about how when his mother went to the funeral, she had on fur, he had on fur. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
but that's why he admires his mother so much, because she has been hiding in plain sight, doing everything and more than what the dad did, but never got caught.
You're right about that. Oh, I never thought about that. Huh.
Hmm.
Huh. Okay. Anything else stood out to you?
I think this lady is going to be on the stand well into next week, which
Yep.
is crazy
She comes
because
back Monday.
it's not leaving much room. And she's still on prosecution, right? The
Yep.
defense. Is she on redirect?
I don't think she's on redirect right now. Yep, he was honored by Howard, and they took that shit back too. They took the key to the city back for New York. Then I took everything back.
Well, New York could afford to let him keep it, because come on now. Did it matter? Look who
So
gave it to
did
him.
you see the sketch that 50 Cent when Keith Sweat got the key to the city and he was like, "Oh man, you taking Diddy key?" I was rolling.
Oh my
Mm-mm.
gosh, he's such a troll.
He is a troll. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never want to be in a beef with 50 because once you beef with him, that beef is on for life. But they're saying that Big Meech actually, and this is rumored, okay?
Mhm.
Big Meech actually spoke to the government as well. What? Because I'm trying to think, why did Big Meech get out of jail so soon?
You know what? Wouldn't it be great if 50 was called to the stand? Because if we thought that the stylist was a hot mess, can you imagine 50? Poor little Curtis up there on the stand saying everything that he knows.
Ooh, I
And you
want
know
to
he
know
knows
if
a
they'll
lot.
be sure because he was subpoenaed. Now he was working out a deal. I don't know what deal you need to work out when you had nothing to do with that enterprise. I want to know if I want to know if Christina is going to get up there because she's been publicly named as a co-conspirator.
Where's Aubrey O'Day?
She was with Van not Van
Danity Kane. Yeah, but where
yeah,
is
Danny.
she? She flew into New York City the first week of the trial.
Yep.
Like, are they not gonna call her?
I don't know. I don't know. But that
Oh,
woman that got up there,
Deborah.
I
You
forgot her name. The one that got up there, was that Mia that said he dangled her? Was that
yeah.
yeah. But they were saying, well, on this date he was here. Maybe she's got the dates confused, but the thing is, Cassie actually testified to him dangling her off the thing, and that's how they lost, including the friend that he hit with the wire hanger or the coat hanger.
The one that got bopped on the head. But
Yep,
the girl that was swung off the building, right? She fucked up
yep,
because she kind of like was going down on what dates it happened, but they were putting in like this receipt from the Trump hotel for room service and all of that,
uh-huh,
but it was under Frank Black's name, so that could have been anybody. Like, I know that that was the name he used going into hotels and all of that,
uh-huh.
but like, is there security footage of him checking in and checking out?
Of course
um
there is. Come on now,
right,
Debbie.
so don't just use a room service bill saying, well, he was in New York and so you couldn't have been dangled off by him in LA. If he was getting breakfast at the Trump, he could have taken his private jet and flown West Coast and dangled her off the building by nightfall and came back.
Yep. I just think that they were pressuring her. She got the date, but they have it. Trust me, they have it. Trust me,
Mm.
they have it. But did you see? I don't know if you saw how quick they rushed her to the car. after her testimony, Mia, why would you bring her out front? Why? Why? If you don't want her identity known. And everything that she was saying, people was looking up on social media with the pictures of her and Cassie. So, people are going to know who you are.
Wait, who's Don Jr.'s ex?
Mia is?
Wait, Mia, the short Asian lady?
No, I don't know. Oh, Don Jr. What about Trump and Elon Musk fallout?
The girls are fighting.
I just want to play sad music. I really do.
Why?
Hi, keeping it real. My sister said she said hi to everybody in chat.
Hello.
Lady Red, what do you think about the girls fighting?
About who fighting?
Trump and Elon Musk.
Oh, I thought it would happen sooner. I'm not surprised.
I thought it was going to happen after his son told him, "You're not the president. My dad
That
is."
was. And he told me to shut up a few times.
I thought it
What
was
was
going to
he
happen
doing with
then.
his black? He said that X punched him in the eye, and that's why he had a black eye. But he was he looked not present. Did you guys see that?
But
No.
he got into a fist fight with one of the secretaries. Not the secretary of, was it defense or something? Who did Elon?
So, and then his daughter, his transgender daughter, is on TikTok and she's laughing her ass off. Did you see that, Lady Red?
No, I didn't. I did
Oh
not.
my God, I got to send it to you. She is rolling. She's putting up all the messages from ex-girl. She is laughing. I'm listening, Wisco. Whatever you got to say, girl. I was rolling.
Treasury Secretary Steve Bannon said that Elon Musk got into a physical confrontation with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, forgive mispronunciation, whatever, before leaving the White House. Bannon stated that Musk shoved Bessent during a heated exchange over government spending cuts. The confrontation reportedly occurred on Musk's last day as head of the Department of Government Efficiency under the Trump administration. It was a shouting match that led to the physical confrontation.
Oh, Marsha E said one of the girls, is it Aubrey? Seems like one of the girls from Diddy's band had a thing
it was.
It's Aubrey.
It was Aubrey, yeah.
Girl, South Africa don't want him. They revoked. They denounced him. I'm trying to think. Who else do we think is going to be brought to the stand? Because now you got to think of the names that were dropped. You got to think of the names that's been dropped all this week. They got to bring someone in after Jane to corroborate everything she's saying. They've already had the chief financial officer up there. She's already said that Diddy would reimburse her for the flights. She already, for bringing in the sex workers. They asked her, where would you have these hotel parties at? Miami, New York, the Caribbean, California. That's trafficking.
Yep. Did you see that Ray J said, if you're going to subpoena me, do it now because I'm packing my shit?
Yep,
and I'm
I saw
leaving?
that on TikTok, girl. He was getting shit packed too. He was serious.
He's like, yeah, no, we don't need that. Why do we need that? He's like, if you're going to do it now because I'm out of here.
Because Ray J, his name, okay, so Jane, was it Jane that said one of the dealers' name was Ray J? And they're thinking it's Ray J, the singer. And they were like, how many other people in Hollywood have the name Ray J? But yeah, she was saying he was another connection for the
well, I mean, that's a good. There's probably more than one Ray J, but his response or his reaction, it looks not very good. Like,
no,
I'm leaving.
He's also very media hungry on social media as well.
That's true. He could be just using it for. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good point.
Yeah, because if you saw, that name connected, you know, because they're already saying that he's the one that gave. Well, rumor was that he gave Whitney something bad,
Well,
and
that's what I
that,
was going to bring up. He's always in the mess somewhere.
yep,
But every time that you'll notice, every time that his name comes up in the media surrounding anything like this, the views on his sex tape goes up. And don't forget, him and Kim and the mother, Kim's mother, still receive royalties from that video. So on a slow month, he'll get $10,000 a month from royalties. Imagine now, because they have it. He probably has the algorithm set up that when you type in his name, Ray J, the first thing that comes up is the sex tape in the algorithm. And what are you going to do? You're going to click on it and look. And he's making money off of that. He doesn't have to work. He will live forever off of that sex tape. So it behooves him, whether it's true or not, to get into the public limelight. He's smart.
yep. So I really think Brandon is coming to the stand. I really do. And unless KK comes and corroborate, I'm telling you, they might get her the same way they did Yasleen. Depends on what happened with Diddy's trial.
Mm.
And that's true. If he was responsible, but everybody wants to see the sex tapes. I don't want to see this shit. They know they exist. The guy got up on the stand and authenticated those things, and that was his way of controlling and blackmailing and extorting. And then they brought up Lori Harvey's name. So
They
who's
could
coming
her
to
out.
the
Nobody want to hear from her.
But I can't. Yeah, but KK's got to say something. She's got to come. She has to. Her name has been all in the fall of Diddy. As directed all of the assistants, all of the securities. She was his right hand. She supplied the drugs. She facilitated the travel. And what about the travel agency that they were using?
Isn't that their corporate travel?
Huh?
Wasn't that their corporate travel agency?
No, but they had her booking the flight, and then they would reimburse her
No,
from company funds.
right. But if it was also like a lot of companies have an in-house
Expedia,
corporate travel
they were
agency.
going through Expedia.
Corporate travel agencies can do that too.
Okay. We used to use Carlson Wagonlit. Yeah, that's what we
Carlson
used.
Wagonlit, yep. American
Yep.
Express is another corporate
Yep, that's what we
travel.
used to use. And that's who would book
Yep.
all my flights because
Yep.
they had my profile and everything.
Yep. But once that's in-house and they have the contract with that company to be the corporate travel supplier, that also doesn't look good because you're using corporate funds.
Yeah,
to
but
do
not when
that.
they were bringing in the sex workers. They had Jane Doe making
Mhm.
the flight arrangements through Expedia, and then he would reimburse her with company funds.
And that's why they brought in the
The chief financial
CFO
officer.
to say this is how we distributed, like how did you do with Diddy? And it was just like whenever he wanted cash. Who does that? Who does that? Like, why doesn't he have a line item for CEO salary,
Yep.
CEO stock options, CEO
His books
whatever.
are his books are effed up. I'm serious.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
effed up to be a chief financial officer. Man, if you got, did they ever get audited?
He probably had to jump through hoops to do the tax filings for that company. He
Listen,
probably had to go through hoops.
yep. But I'm okay. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else significant that happened with Diddy because we got some other stuff that we need to. Is anything else significant that happened with Diddy this week?
The only thing I have to say is that I do get a chuckle every time Mims describes when the family comes into the courtroom, and he says, Justin comes in with these diamonds in his ear that are big enough to take up the whole lobe. Why didn't he sell those to save his car?
His car, yeah.
And then he'll turn around and say, yeah, the slow one just arrived. And I'm just like, oh, Lord have mercy. Poor Christian. He can't catch a break.
Nope, because he's got stuff pending on him as well.
Well, he's getting a good life experience, seeing what it'll be like to be in court for when his turn
I think
comes.
he gonna settle.
You think he's just going to do a plea deal or something and just go straight to prison?
Give me another week. Give me another week, Wisco Gal. I've got so much on my plate right now. Give me another week. I got you. I've had impromptu trips. I've had things. Just give me another week. I'll be back. Just give me a week. Give me a week. I'll be back. It's a lot of stuff going on, and you're right. It's a lot of stuff. And I owe you guys a members only as well. I really do. Because Amber was up on Jen's panel yesterday, and that's something else that I really want to discuss. But now I need to discuss some TikTok shit. Okay. I want to talk about KitKat.
Damn.
Let me show you. So KitKat, I don't know if you guys follow Sophie. I miss you guys too. I really do. I don't know if a lot of you follow Sophie, and I see some of you, and I know you follow Sophie. Okay. So this past week, something was given to Sophie to post. Okay. Well, it was last week. Okay. It was given to Sophie to post. So everybody was under the impression that this was a private message from a minor. It was not. Okay. Now, the person that gave it to Sophie, Villain, don't know why she didn't post it herself because she has a YouTube and a TikTok, but she gave it to Sophie to do it. And this has to do with Lori Jones. So this old lady in Canada, KitKat, Nana, who pretends, that she's so feeble and she's so sick when she is sick, but, and she loves everybody. Well, she called Sophie a despicable and deplorable person. Are those the words she used, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So after she got a lot of she had good comments, bad comments, she did good comments, bad comments. So then she goes and she wants to do an apology. Now, Sophie only played a little bit of this apology, and I'm saying it like that because it's not. She and I were going back and forth yesterday. Okay. She starts off the live with her health problems. Oh, poor me, feel sorry for me. Okay, so here is her.
I haven't seen the whole thing, so.
Hello, everybody. It's KitKat, aka Nana. I hope you're all doing well and looking forward to a nice weekend. I've been doing a lot of thinking the last, 2-3 days. I made a video the other day speaking to my Lindsay, who I absolutely love and defend to the death. She's an absolutely lovely human being, and she's very kind, considerate, and helpful. And that's where I started with that video, was to let people know who she is to me and who she is as a human being.
Now, I just want to stop. This is supposed to be an apology to Sophie. Sophie's name is in the title.
Her character is intact. However, I went on to be very rude to Psycho Bunny in the way I called her out on her apology. That's between Lindsay and Psycho Bunny. And I know that they're both mature enough women to handle things the best way they know how. And I'm going to ask, if this is going to be a long video to clear everything, if you will watch this, please, through its entirety. I only have 10 minutes and I like to talk long, so I could be here all afternoon.
Okay.
But I'll only keep you a few minutes if you bear with me.
9 minutes and 30
I'm not having the best day, but I did put some lipstick on and I have a really swollen leg and
Here we go. Poor me. Poor me. Poor me. Give me sympathy. Give me empathy. Even though I said some of the most heinous things about someone that I don't even know.
I've been advised just now by a friend to keep it elevated until I speak with my doctor. Anyway, aside from all of that, I spoke about, I've been asked not to use this person's name, but for all clarification, so everyone knows and she knows that I'm speaking to her. It's about what I had to say about Simply Sophie. There has been much conjecture and comments made, good and bad. Everybody has an opinion. I've had some wonderful people support me. But saying that, I was wrong in an area in what I had to say. And to clear my conscience, because I don't like what I did. What I did was I called Sophie deplorable and despicable. I don't know Sophie. I can't make that discernment about her, and it was wrong to call someone those names. I am so sorry about that, Sophie. I can't stress that enough.
So my comment is not there. I asked her, the person that gave Sophie that information, did you call her deplorable and despicable as well? That comment is not here. And that's pissing me off because it's not there. That's why I keep going back and forth looking for it. That's the one she deleted.
To call someone names like that is wrong. Now, there was further to that video, what I was trying to express, and I will stand on this, is my opinion, my discernment, that what I believe when I don't agree with Simply Sophie having posted a video of a minor's comments, albeit they were public. I don't believe that that was the right thing to do.
But again, she keeps saying Simply Sophie. She knows who gave Sophie that screenshot. To this day, Sophie still doesn't know what live that was on. What do you think, Lady Red?
No, I'm right on you with this. Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know.
Everything's
Let me think of
Sophie.
how I want to word it.
And then the person that gave it to her, villain, has a big ass platform. Why didn't she post it?
That behavior.
That's where I'm tripped up at.
Why didn't she post it? If she wanted
Yeah,
it
do
out
it
so
yourself.
bad,
I don't get it.
why didn't she post it?
To be deplorable and despicable, but not Simply Sophie. She's not that person, but the actions speak that way to me in the video. There is a very big difference. I don't name call as a rule. I've stepped
But
right
you
out.
have. You supported Lori, who you knew was a despicable and deplorable person, but you supported her. You still support Naked Butterfly, who's lied to everybody about being clean, and she's an addict. She's despicable and deplorable because of the lies she's done. But you called Sophie despicable and deplorable. I can't believe you, KitKat, Lil Nana.
Of character to do that to another human being. having said that, and reading so many comments, and my goodness, some of them were very harsh, some of them so judgmental, and
You
on
wait a
both
minute.
Wait,
sides.
You were
wasn't she? Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lady Red.
No, I'm just like, wait, aren't you being judgmental to begin with? I mean, you just said that you called Sophie those names and you didn't even know her or the situation. It didn't. Sophie wasn't the one that originated. The receipt did not originate from Sophie. It was given to Sophie by Villain, who has a much larger platform and could have done it herself. Just saying.
Exactly. But she's talking but judgmental. When I heard that part, girl, I I was just like, wait the fuck a minute here.
And comments, albeit they're typewritten, they do have a sound, and some of them are very, very loud. Some of the videos I see, the creators are very, very loud.
I'm
Mickey
loud.
Mouse, I just adore her. She makes me laugh. But getting back to the noise of comments and the noise of the
Noise.
creators'
Mhm.
words and the way things are presented,
You came on a public platform and called a woman despicable and deplorable, and you didn't know the full story. You jumped your ass into a live because you had to get this set because you want to stand by Andy. Fine, get the whole story. That's my problem.
Mine too.
it's hard. It's hard to hear that loud noise. There is a poem that
Oh
was
my God.
required reading when I was in high school called Desiderata. In English, it means the desire of life. There is a line in that poem that speaks to this very thing about loudness. It says, avoid the loudness of others.
But you didn't do that, did you? Did you do that? No, you didn't.
It is vexatious to the spirit. And all of these comments, all of what I'm hearing, the hatred, all of it, are vexatious to my spirit.
You put it out there. You said it. You're the one that caused all of this.
Wait, this
You,
is an apology?
yes,
I'm
that's what
so
I asked her.
confused.
Okay, here's my question. I said, you were so wrong, but is this an apology?
Oh,
Really? Is this an apology? Debbie, is that an apology? Is Debbie still here? Yeah, she's muted. I want to know if that's an apology. That's
I
not a
do too.
That's not an apology. You're making excuses for what you did. And the fact that you got backlash, which you got a lot of people that were calling Sophie names as well. They don't know her. They don't know her. Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
because she
gosh.
did this in a 90-day. No, she didn't.
I don't want to vex the elderly. Like, is she going to get vapors too? I'm confused. Just bad. That sounds very tragic. Vexed. I'm vexate. Oh, scary.
Girl,
I've got the
It's lowered
vapors.
my ebb.
listen to this.
It takes away the joy in my heart to hear all of this so loudly expressed.
But what did you say?
It is a vexation to my
Oh my
spirit.
gosh.
So I hope people can be a little quieter. It's a nice.
Stop. Stop. Oh my God. Do you hear this?
I do. And I have, oh my gosh. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I am just not the person to ask to be quiet, like, ever. Oh my God. I'm too much of a brat. Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Can be a
World.
Who's
little
I
quieter
apologizing
come
to
from
Sophie?
a
because
different
you're vexing
time,
me.
trying to catch up with the world. And
Yep.
I can't, you know.
Well, so after she made the first video, which I'm going to show, Sophie just went on her panel and she goes, she will come at you with the same energy you brought to her. Leave her name out of your mouth. And she says Sophie threatened her. I didn't take that as a threat. She said whatever energy you brought to her, she would bring to you. And she didn't want to do that because you were an older woman. But you went on a public platform and called a woman you don't know deplorable and despicable. That's
Well,
what
what
she,
that tells me, honestly, if that's the way she received it and that's the way she responded, then she had ill intentions. If you didn't have ill intentions, then Sophie saying that, you wouldn't take that as a threat unless
thank
you had
you.
ill intentions.
She had ill intentions. Let's listen.
It's my generation that first started to run computers. You know, I was working on computers long before the internet came online.
What does this have to do with Sophie?
And I worried about that. A lot of us did. How social media.
Let me just move.
And that takes away your peace in your spirit, in my spirit anyway. But I will say it again, so it's clear that I am apologizing to you, Sophie, for calling you deplorable and despicable. The action, I don't know how much forethought you put into before you posted that video. I'd like to believe that you did have forethought.
Oh my God.
And if you did,
You are so condescending.
I'd like to
You
ask
really
you
are. I'm
why.
sorry, Kit Kat, but you're very, very condescending.
I can't with her. This is not an apology.
I feel like I'm sitting in the principal's office. I'm sorry.
This is not an apology. I fucked up. I was wrong. I should have never said it without knowing everything that was going on. Period.
Look, I called you
It was
deplorable, but I'm not really sure you thought about what the fuck you did. Like, what kind of an
Jesus.
necessary
apology is
to
this?
post it. It didn't tell us anything. It wasn't necessary. We didn't need to hear that stuff.
Who is we?
But that was your decision. And I do find the behavior deplorable and despicable.
I find your behavior deplorable and despicable, Kit Kat.
Not you. There is a very big difference, and I have learned not to judge, but to discern. Anyway, that's all I have to say about all of that. What I'm hoping is that we can all move along.
No, what I'm hoping is that people stay off my ass and stop coming for me. That's what you're hoping.
And love the people that we love. Support that which is right in the world. Fight for that which is wrong and make good changes. You know, I was one of those women flippers that actually did burn
Girl,
to
I'm done.
fight for the right.
Okay. I don't want to hear nothing else. Okay.
I literally felt like I was drug into the guidance counselor office or something. Like, what are you doing? Okay. That's a hell of an apology. You know, and I've sat on a panel with Kit Kat and had a good time. We had a fun time. You know, I didn't realize she was so
Messy. She comes across as this sweet old lady and she's going through cancer but she's got something to say about everybody. And then when she gets called out,
we're vexing her.
Yes.
I mean, you're even using old-fashioned words, and that makes me feel like I think that's manipulative because I really did feel like I was like, I don't want to
Exactly,
vex an
Snuggle.
old lady. That's crazy.
Exactly, Snuggle. And she sits there and she wants to, before she apologizes, she has to let you know that her legs are swollen and she has to call her doctor. What does it have to do? You come online, you say, I'm doing this. I'm simply Sophie. I'm sorry. I should have never called you a deplorable, despicable human. I'm apologizing. I didn't like the situation. I didn't understand it, but by no means should I have called you a deplorable, despicable human. Is what you said.
Well, I would like to kind of stick up for Sophie. And look, I understand that people are going to feel a certain kind of way when you post what somebody's child has said.
Yep.
I have done it, and on my series of Memory Lane with Lisa, I have like two series where it's basically her children that she had online and what they had to say
Oh
about their
yeah,
mother's
especially
behavior.
Jace.
So
Yes.
people are going to feel a certain kind of way about that. But I'm going to tell you the reason why I did it is because I, at one time, was that minor that didn't have the voice. So people can feel how they're going to feel. If it's on a public platform, I feel like the kids are always ignored because it's like, oh, they're minors, they're minors. Yes, they are minors, and they're also going through this. So while some people are going to agree with it and some people are not, for KitKat to just say that that was like, how did she dismiss it? She dismissed it and said it wasn't necessary or
It wasn't
something.
that, and the
Well,
people are
maybe in your
vexing
mind
her.
it wasn't.
Yeah,
Maybe in
people are
your mind it
vexing her.
wasn't. But again, that's your opinion. It's your
Yep,
opinion.
people are vexing her. Y'all better stop vexing her, okay? Okay, stop vexing her because she has
That
something.
bothers my spirit.
Girl, I can't wait to hear what Sophie has to say about this. So, and we have some other little issue. We're gonna talk about WTF. Um, this is a woman who has a proven track record of being a con artist. Not only did she steal from a GoFundMe for a woman from a young woman that went missing, okay, and then she was caught. She wants to blame the mother for stealing the money. Well, it wasn't the mother. She got convicted for that theft by deception.
But
So
didn't you say that she said she paid it all back so she
yeah, she
wouldn't
said she
think
paid
they
it all
wouldn't think
back.
she was stealing, but then she still got convicted?
Still got convicted.
Okay,
Okay.
just
So
clarifying.
we find out that she's made phone calls to this lady, boss lady's family, her child, her boss, all this other stuff. Then we come to find out that she is a prostitute, not a massage therapist, but a prostitute. So again, we have her writing on villain's name. Now she had been called out back in, I forgot, when was it? April. Hi, Michelle LaBelle.
It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a long time that this has been brought. It wasn't a secret
It wasn't a secret. Was not a
at
secret.
all.
So um then Nicole, who is on TikTok and she now has a page on YouTube, is called Conservative Nick. And I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys can go out and check Conservative Nick with all of this stuff. Now she also, she has one page that's 817, and then the same name but she's using 713. Okay. So she has two YouTube pages and she has all of the evidence on her page. So my friend is being called out to be a liar. She's being called out for being a user, a fraud. And you mean to tell me, with you doing call outs on people and you always pulling foyers on people,
Mm-hmm.
not one time did she look into all of these accusations that are being thrown at her friend or the person that she met in person? Do you believe that?
Absolutely not. I don't believe for 1 second that she wasn't informed by somebody somehow, sometime, at
And you
some
got
point.
all these friends and all these mods that watch, everything that these people are doing. No one sent you a message to tell you, hey, you might. I was even in her chat. I said, you might want to go look and read the text messages. You might want to go look and listen to the recordings. She says she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't care to. How do you have an open mind? How do you be unbiased if you don't look at everything?
Well, and if she chooses to be biased about it, just say, I'm choosing to be biased. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the stance she wants to take, then say that.
But it
But
wasn't
don't
until
don't
people.
be the don't be the Captain Save-A-Ho for absolutely every other situation
But it
and then
wasn't until
ignore it
people
when it's
started
literally
calling her
right in your
out.
backyard.
But it wasn't until people started calling out Villain that she felt the need. Well, she said she was behind the scenes, and I'm going to give her credit because that night that Psycho Bunny had WTF on the panel and everybody came up calling WTF out, you knew right then and there that WTF was lying. You were sending in the questions for Psycho Bunny to ask her. So tell me again how you didn't know this woman was a con artist. Tell me again. Tell me again. I'm listening, Lady Red. How do you not know?
I, you don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe for 1 second. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to choose to be biased, just say it. Like, I know the truth. I know that she's a lying, scamming hooker, and I'm okay with that. I love her, and I embrace everything about her. Just say it.
But now she didn't.
I
And now
know.
she's feeling like she didn't know. Then I see um, messages where she was saying that Lisa was sober during the time that they took Shadow, and you know full well Lisa was using. Lisa was sober until the time her sister picked her up from the place until the time she got home, and then she was all cracked up again. You're arguing with
Facts.
people, telling people Lisa is sober.
That's when you told me that, I about like literally I had it like what? Never. I have videos of Lisa past like falling out. She was getting t- she was not sober. Nope.
But
Mm-mm.
this is what she's doing. And then you call out frauditor. Now, everybody knows I said, and I put up the thing, I called her a fraud and everything else. But you're calling out frauditor. When it came up that frauditor had an open warrant, you were going at, I forgot, what's her name, Nicole?
Yeah, how did you know about frauditors warrant but you don't know about what WTF stuff?
Well,
Like
she
that's
said that
like
she didn't have a warrant. And then the woman, people were going at, I forgot, what's her name? It's her name. I forgot the lady's name. Is her name Nicole as well? That put out all frauditor shit?
um that's the one that Lisa recommended everybody go watch.
Yes, I can't remember her name. Chantel, what's the
Something
woman's name again? I forgot. I forgot.
because I
But
wanted to ask you about that. There's something that she just came out recently and said, okay, well, something she had said was wrong. It had to do with Nick, conservative Nick, and a truck and the constable. And she said it was. Do you know all about
yes,
that?
so they were saying that the truck that was at Lisa's home was the constable, and it was not. It was the woman that went there to pick up the cats from Lisa's sister because she didn't want the cats to go to the shelter. And there were two
Mhm.
cats there, not one.
Right. And she showed him.
Yep. And so the woman came out and she didn't want to be involved, but they kept saying that that was the constable, and it wasn't. It was two different
Tracy
trucks.
Unfiltered.
Tracy Unfiltered. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you. Tracy came out and did the video. Now, Tracy Unfiltered is the one that called Reaper out on her lies about her stealing $157 from Walmart. When that came out, Villain said that wasn't true. And then Tracy started putting shit out. And all of a sudden, guys, just be patient. The truth will come out, and then you distance yourself.
And now her phone's broken. So just be more patient because she's getting it off of her broken phone with her mom's phone. And she just couldn't tell everybody that that was about the truck because she was in the truck because she was there getting Lisa's sister's cats after Lisa recommended everybody watch her videos like 6 months prior to that. I think it's rather really intertwined. And she even admitted, I didn't want to say that I was in the car and I didn't want to say I was going to get the
Yep.
cats because of what happened with Shadow.
Yep.
Excuse me, what? Like that made no sense to me.
And then the woman, so in the text messages I saw yesterday, the woman is saying that she wanted to make sure Lisa got Shadow back, and she wanted to make sure she had the last of $20 or $25, but she wants to make sure Lisa's not lying and she's sober. And Villain is going, I know more than most. So yes, I'm like, wait a minute. Did you not see her on that live? High as a kite, line up, but getting that damn dog.
Well, I mean, we can pull the videos and just remind everybody they're up. So
Oh yeah, I saw everybody shouting out Dr. Dre. I came across his channel. That shit was funny. Who's Dr. Dre? Who's Dr. Dre? Lady Red laughs when I go in there and I go at her. She goes, she really. I
oh,
get under her skin.
you trigger her. It's so funny. Last night when you were like, "You sure are high," and she goes, "High strung. I'm high strung." Like,
Did
I
you see her
die.
nails today with all the black soot from the crack pipe?
Well, and then she said she was gonna go wash her hands in a mud puddle.
But
I asked her,
Villa
I'm
was
like, "What do you
backing
do?
her.
You've only been in the alley for a few hours. Like, are you going and you fight, getting dirt fights? That's a crack finger, girl."
Girl, I was just laughing and I go in there. She goes, well, I was away. I said, you had 2 weeks and you still didn't do shit with your life.
Facts. Didn't set up any interviews, nothing.
No,
Just sat there.
nothing. No, nothing. Nothing. Now she's back in the alley. And guys, I just need food and cigs. I said, Soup Kitchen, get a job.
Facts. Get a job.
I,
Like I said, you can't have it both ways. Either you admit that you're all effed up about it and you are just a fiend and crackhead, or you are completely capable of getting your ass a job. You can't like go to rehab or get a job. I think that's the next song.
oh my God. Hold on. Hold on. And then we're going to do this. But I want you guys to go and watch. I want you to go listen to Conservative Nick. So let me finish this. With WTF, she said she got a lawyer. Okay. She was
Hmm.
on a panel with Psycho Buddy saying that she needed a lawyer. The prosecution was going to be, and the lawyer was going to work hand in hand with the prosecution. Now, if the prosecution decides to pick up your case, you don't need a lawyer. That's the state versus those individuals. Even when she was on a live that day, she said she had a lawyer and she was suing 5 people. I said in that chat, unless that lawyer is licensed in every state, you cannot have the same lawyer to sue 5 different people in 5 different states. Period. Right there, she was lying. You're watching Psycho Bunny's live. You hear it for yourself as you say, I know the law. Girl, if you know the law, you know you're not going to use one attorney unless he's licensed in all 5 states. So
Yep.
she said she paid the attorney $5,000 out of her tax money. We come to find out that the ex-John or the ex-boyfriend, who's now a John, actually gets the tax money because she hasn't had a job in 5 or 6 years. So he claims the daughter and gives her some money. So that was a lie. You never paid a fucking attorney $5K. Period. You didn't. Okay. Then you said that the GoFundMe that you raised was $2,500 and that you were going to be transparent about it, which you haven't been. That money is long gone. Then we find out that you're being evicted from your home. And then we find out that the boyfriend, now the John, actually paid for your cats that you did a GoFundMe for to go to the doctor, okay, that you raised the money for, but you didn't pay for. We find out that the John, the ex-boyfriend, now the John, is the one that's been giving you money. And then you took a guy to your home off the internet to live with you and your minor daughter that you've never met, who just lost his mother and probably got some inheritance, and you're going to drain him dry. Okay?
Mic drop. Ditto. You said it all.
You is, look, you is, not you are, you is a dirty hoe. You are a hooker that, oh, I forgot, that bring men to her home to do her tricks. Okay, here we go. Oh, she also travels out of state to go hook as well, which I'm taking she probably goes to conventions and stuff. And then in the text messages, she states that things have been dry and she hasn't made money in months. Oops.
Lovely choice of words.
Then we find out that she shoots up. Oops. You are a druggie who stole money from a victim who disappeared.
And then blame the mom of the victim.
Yes, and blame the mom of the victim. Girl, if people are coming to me and telling me this about my friend, I will check into my friend. So you can't tell me you didn't check into that fucking con artist.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody came to you and told you that Reaper had a outstanding warrant for a letting insurance lapse, okay? Whatever. That's really not that serious, but you checked it out and it was a big deal and she was a big fucking liar because of it. But you get told all of this shit and you don't check any of it? It just houseway. It just doesn't add up. The math is not mathing.
No, if somebody comes and tells Debbie Heidi's running this scam, Heidi has been locked up for theft by deception. She's on probation. And here's the thing. She said that she didn't get the receipts. Speaking of villains, she didn't get the receipts for the attorney. So she called the courthouse. Guess what? There's no attorney of record.
Yeah, no
Shocker.
attorney assigned to the case, they said.
Shocker. She has no attorney for her. Shocker. So you stated that if she doesn't provide these things to you, which is just an email, that you were going to call her probation officer and violate her. Well, guess what? I'm going to find that probation officer and I'm going to call because I don't trust you to call because you didn't do anything. Your people donated money because she was using your name left and right. She swindled, as you said, your people. Your people. Now, if somebody called Debbie and tell Debbie I'm doing all of these things, Debbie, what would you do? Get off mute and tell me what would you do, because she's known me for quite some time. If you told Debbie Heidi's running this scam, she's got this, she's got arrested for this, she's on probation, and now she's doing this.
She's moving in men from the internet and she's doing drugs in the bathroom, having strange men over.
And then,
Help me, Debbie.
I forgot the part where she actually made a mistake, didn't know she was on live, and a John called her.
Booked an appointment for a quickie.
Booked an appointment.
But that was a massage therapist appointment.
For $150 for 15 minutes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I did a spa day
massages booked.
for
I'm sure you haven't. I
$200.
have never booked a massage like that, ever.
I never booked one either. And what was he said? Are you available? Ask if I'm available. What did he say? Are you available? You dirty 6-pound wearing makeup hooker.
And he said it had been a few years or a year or some shit.
Yep. Not only that, she has OnlyFans. She has an escort site. Girl. And you said it had been a couple of years. And even when that was proven to be a lie, did your friend go check into you?
Well, and also the picture, she has it on free corn sites.
Yep.
Free corn cob sites. They're free. So for trying to say that somebody acquired them from behind a paywall when you have them for free on corn cob sites, that's just a lie.
This shit is crazy. And all these people jump on these bandwagons. Oh, you're the greatest. But again, step back and take a look. Remove the fact, and I do not like Boss Lady at all. I do not like WTF at all. I don't like those people. But open your eyes and see what's there. And in my opinion, and I'm going to say it here, she sat back and watched what was going on with this whole Ronnie situation. She was under another name. Then all of a sudden she made herself known and she comes with the name, what? WTF.
WTF.
Is that a coincidence?
I don't know.
No, it's not. She was watching. She was watching to see where would she fit in at. And all of a sudden, the cat needed this. She did 2 fundraisers for a cat. 2. And the boyfriend proved that he's the one that gave her the money both times. Well, it was only one time. So what did the other money go? So she's done a GoFundMe for a cat. Well, she asked for help. And then she did a GoFundMe for an attorney that she does not have and never paid. So is that scamming? Because that's against your probation for what? What? And
Oh,
you a
shit.
hooker and bringing men to your home? What? With your minor child, a little girl.
And also put her little girl on a video to say
To
that
tell what
there's
mommy does for a living.
yeah, that there's a table in the back room. Like, what? Okay.
Yes, Chantel, I saw your video. I saw your video. I saw it on TikTok. I saw your video. But Andy was wrong. So let me tell you, someone reached out to Andy that I know personally. And then I found out 2 other people reached out to him as well. He said he was going to send Sophie a message and apologize. And I already knew what Sophie was going to say because I sent it to her. She goes, absolutely not. You did it publicly and you were going to apologize publicly. He didn't do that. He came live with, that's not apologies, people. None. Did you see Andy's his whatever he called himself doing?
Yeah,
And I
I
think,
saw it.
yeah, and I think those girls, their best thing is to be with Andy, but Lori is the one that went and told Andy this shit. And if you don't, and he should know by now that she's going to rile him up to hurt his case. That doesn't look good.
Well, and why was he so comfortable naming Sophie and going after Sophie? And then he said that he basically excused the other one for now. Why? Villain's the bigger channel. I don't get that. Because Sophie in your mind was an easier target. That's a weak fucking move, dude. Like to be a man and do that, it's weak. Weak.
Yeah. Oh, I heard Naked Butterfly said, oh, and OG Lady Red, you said I'm a victim? Yes, girl. You're proving yourself. You want to be a victim. Yes, you are. So when I went in your live that night and you were lying about Sophie, I went in there and I said, Sophie did not say that. She did not speak to his daughter. This bitch blocks me. So she forgets I follow her on another account. She plays victim. She's manipulative. And that's another one that is an active addiction. I warned you, Lady
I
Red, and
know.
I warned Sophie. I said, this is not, and then it all
I
came
came
out.
right to you afterwards and said, you
Yep.
warned me. Like I admitted it right away. I'm like, you warned me. I literally, look, I took care of my dad in his last days and he would fall out just like she would. So when I just, I don't know, I believed her. I literally thought she was in her
But
end
how could
days.
you when she can barely open her mouth to talk and she's,
That's how my dad was. Literally, that's how my dad was when his organs were shutting down.
but you, so you had no idea she was still in active addiction.
I thought she was in new sobriety. I really did. I thought she was going through, medication changes and all of these things and trying to deal with her pain of her organs shutting down and going through the withdrawals of her new sobriety. Like yeah, I ate it hook, line, and sinker. I really did. I gave her
Chantel, in
as much
case,
empathy as I could possibly muster.
yeah, Chantel, in case
And
you're not aware, Sophie got it from Villain. Villain gave it to her and gave her the okay to post it because it was already in the court documents. So that's where it came from. Okay? That's where it came from. It came from Villain. Sophie admitted it the other day on her live when I was texting with her. I even told her who it came from because Lori told Andy. And it came from Villain, period. And I just don't like the way that was done. I really don't.
makes no sense.
It makes no sense when if she wanted it out, she could have put it out herself.
I don't know. I just think Sophie is the one that was covering a lot of
Of
Lori and
Lori. Yep.
Butterfly, right? And then all of a sudden she's offered this. by, and then when Andy comes out, names her, but excuses villain, doesn't name villain at all. I just, to me, it looked like a setup, and that's my, Generation X
Yep.
conspiracy mind going, and that's just my opinion. It looks dirty. It
Yep,
looked
it
dirty.
does. It looks dirty. But yeah, so she didn't say it publicly, but I mean at first. But then she said it the other day. But I knew who it came from. Trust me, I knew who it came from. Because Andy, and that's the fun thing. He told the person that contacted him who gave it to her. So he knew too. He knew
Yeah, that's what
too.
I'm saying. And he even said, and the other one, I'm not using verbatim, but he said he named Sophie and said that the other one he would for now not say or something.
But why not? You named Sophie.
Because it was a dirty, dirty setup. That's why.
Yeah, I don't like that. You named Sophie flat out, but you didn't name the person that gave it to her. Sophie had no
Exactly.
idea that was out there. She had no idea it was out there. So just think, if she wouldn't been called out on that, can you think of how much other stuff she probably would have passed to her?
I mean,
I mean, just think about it.
look, and I've seen this happen with other people too. It seems like when an awareness channel or a commentary channel is getting leeway on getting the word out on someone's behaviors, somebody comes along and sabotages it or attempts to. And I look at everybody involved as being like, you're helping the person that's scamming everybody. And why? And why does it seem like this seems to be a pattern lately? I'm just asking questions for a friend. Just saying.
Well, I'm glad the way that Sophie handled it, and but I just didn't appreciate how he came at her without calling out the other person as well. And
Mhm.
you're saying that you don't want to say the other person's name. That's not fair.
It isn't.
If you're going to call it out, call it all out.
Yeah, and these apologies of the two that we're discussing, like, do better. Do better. That's all I gotta say. Like, apologies aren't, you don't enter an apology with talking about how poor your health is, because you're asking for sympathy before you even start your apology. That's very manipulative.
And that's the
It
way
really
I took it.
is.
Oh, my legs are swollen, and a friend of yours got to tell you to elevate your legs. Really?
I mean, I
Really?
learned that when I was in high school in
Thank you.
sports
A friend of
injuries.
yours got to tell you to elevate your legs until you call your doctor. And let me just get so I mentioned girl, stop.
I
Stop.
called you these names. You're not those names, but what you did was those names. Like,
Yep.
come on.
Come
The
on.
fuck?
And like I said, and that other comment I left was taken down. I said, did you call the person that gave it to a deplorable and despicable as well? That
Exactly.
comment was removed.
Of course, because it was a setup. Or it appears that way to me. I'll word it that way. It
So
just looked dirty.
it is dirty. So anyway, did you hear that Grant Harden has been captured?
No,
The ex-sheriff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, he's the one that committed an R and a murder. Look. Hold on.
Oh, where did they
Oh,
capture him?
hold on. Here we go. We got
Okay.
it. We got it. We got it. We
On
got
mute.
it. And guys, if you're not following, I know a lot of you follow WTF, but she really does some good commentary on things. And Selfie Queen Cindy has done some great commentary on the naked butterfly situation. And I really can't wait to hear what she has to say when it comes to KitKat. I really can't. I haven't seen a video from her yet on that. And are you going to do a video on that as well?
I mean, this was I just watched it with you, so
I'm sure you have
I
other
might.
thoughts.
I'm working on a longer Lori video, so I might try to add it in there, you know.
Okay. All right.
Working on like a whole Lori butterfly like a longer thing instead of just a
And
video. Yeah.
so let me tell you, that day she went on Chantel's panel, okay? I went into Chantel's live. Naked Butterfly was up there. And I go in and I'm listening to her. And she says, I'm going to be those kids' stepmother. And I was like, what the fuck? So I asked Chantel to drop the link. And I'm trying to be nice about it, right? I said, you went on live and you're saying that your health is bad. You've got stage 4, which she hasn't proven. But you remember that night she was up there? Yes. Yes. I'm going Wisco. So the night she was up there and she was saying how her potassium and everything. So I went in and I said, hey, my brother-in-law had dialysis and they had to flush out his system. He was getting it at home 2 to 3 days a week. Well, 3 to 4 days a week. She says, well, they told me I couldn't have it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You need to talk to another doctor. And I knew right then and there she was still using. She was still using. So I go up on Chantel's panel. I said, hey, this is not good for your health. I said, you and Lori are obsessed with each other. And why would you say you want to be those kids' stepmother when you know that's going to set Lori off? You both are obsessed with each other. This morning, I was scrolling through TikTok and, I was watching a video. Then I swiped the wrong way and up, I popped in a Lori's video. She goes, oh, good morning, OG Lady Red. I heard her. Please don't block her. Just give her a chance. Girl, I got out there so damn quick. I don't want to be seen in your live. That was a mistake. And I
That's
had her
happened to me a
blocked.
few times.
But,
Yeah.
I had her old page blocked. So her new page is not blocked. So I'm going to have to block it. But let's look.
We are beginning tonight with breaking news. The massive manhunt is over. Grant Harden, an escaped convicted murderer and former police chief, has been captured.
We have now learned he was tracked down today at 3:45. He was caught in Stone County, less than 2 miles away from the Calico Rock prison. Harden
2 miles. He been gone for how many days? He was 2 miles away.
escaped from that prison nearly 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And so now that hunt finally coming to an end. It's been 2 weeks of anxiety in that part of the state.
Yeah, but lawmakers are still demanding answers on how he got out. THV 11's Rebecca Brown joins us live in the studio with more on how the state is responding. Rebecca.
Faith and Rowley, as we know, Grant Harden slipped by security in what the Department of Corrections called a, quote, makeshift police uniform. Now the legislative panel overseeing the DOC is now pledging a full investigation into how this happened.
We obviously have a problem when the worst of the worst offenders are escaping and out on the streets.
Republican Senator Tyler Dees is referring to the man dubbed the Devil in the Ozarks. Grant Harden walked out of the Calico prison last Sunday in broad daylight. While law enforcement continues their relentless search, his breakout is now sparking serious concern at the state level.
Mr. Harden is a violent offender. He's a psychopath murderer. In fact, there's a reason we locked him up.
Senator Dees serves on a key legislative subcommittee that reviews operations inside Arkansas's correctional system. He and fellow lawmakers recently sent a letter to the state's Board of Corrections calling for a full review of Harden's escape. This review comes on the heels of a second escape in Texarkana where the inmate was caught 2 days later.
It's a time to ask questions. It's a time to review. And things may be fine. Things may need an overhaul. And that's exactly what we do as an oversight committee. We bring in Department of Corrections and the Board of Corrections at times to look at everything in this field.
Beyond the escape itself, Dee says this incident raises deeper questions about the state's prison infrastructure. He points to the ongoing debate over building a new correctional facility.
And we have overfilled our capacity of other facilities of our county jails. And this is exactly why the legislature.
Manhunt continues across Arkansas. Lawmakers are tackling the public safety angle from the Capitol. Senator Dees says now is the time to step back, reevaluate, and work towards solutions. This has been a day many have been anticipating. Again, Grant Harden has been captured only 2 miles away from Calico Rock Prison by Stone County Sheriff's Department. And we're still learning more details as this news just came straight to the newsroom just a few minutes ago.
Okay, so they didn't have it. But we got to go to the Louisiana escapees, okay? This is my boy right here, okay? So,
Good afternoon. I'm Meg Gatto.
And I'm Lauren McCoy.
Wait a minute. Antoine Massey escaped, okay? He and Groves are still out. Antoine Massey is making IG videos. He is posting pictures of himself in new Rockets gear. And you dummy, they can track this shit.
Another post on Instagram claims to come from Orleans Parish jail escapee Antoine Massey.
Gabby Killett shares what's in that post and what it reveals about one of the last escapees still on the run.
Now, his mother was locked up in prison as well for murder. In case y'all guys didn't know that. His mama was locked up in prison for murder. Antoine actually spoke at her parole hearing. I'm sorry. Let me get on.
The latest post on this Instagram account, someone who claims to be escapee Antoine Massey proclaiming his innocence while tagging Fox 8 and other media outlets. It appears to be the same account that posted these videos Sunday.
I'm showing y'all the whole world how corrupted the state of Louisiana is. I'm an innocent man. Yes, in my past, I made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say mistakes. I was just young. You know what I'm saying? But the system has failed a lot of people.
So he didn't make mistakes. He was just young. Did you hear that? He didn't make mistakes. He was just young.
Well, yeah, I would say I saw one of his videos and he was saying, they let me out. They're lying. Anyways.
Yeah, he said they let him out. He said the maintenance man let him out. He's not a jailer. He's not a sheriff. The maintenance man let him out. So he's getting the maintenance man in trouble who said he didn't know. He thought he was there to fix a toilet.
Deputy U.S. Marshal Brian Fair said it was media who made authorities aware of the most recent post Thursday morning. Fair adds authorities are investigating.
We're going to continue to look for him. It's what's going to happen is going to happen. We'll continue to investigate leads, and hopefully he'll either surrender to us or we'll capture him, one or the other.
Massey also allegedly posted different versions of a 10-minute video Sunday to that account. In them, he called on President Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian, and multiple rappers to help him. In the videos, he also presents documentation that he says supports his innocence, specifically in the domestic abuse case for which he was incarcerated at the time of his May 16th escape. Fair adds it's too early to tell whether the photo could lead detectives to Massey, who has been on the run for nearly 3 weeks. Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Raspani says posting to social media is risky, and that Massey's posts come as he likely runs out of resources and support.
In my experience, when you get desperate, you get careless, which would mean he would become more likely to be found out. But we'll just have to wait and see.
And anyone who has information on Massey or Derek Groves' whereabouts is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. The reward for any tip leading to an arrest is up to $50,000 per fugitive. Meg, thank you.
I wanted to show you guys this thing on Emily
Tiffany
Pike.
Hinyard, former Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor, takes the fifth rather than testify.
Pike real quick. I was talking to
new developments in the Emily Pike case.
I was talking to Lady Red this morning. This body cam video was released yesterday of two of the times that Emily Pike had left the home. And guess what? They put out the name of the place where she's at now. So they released it, and let's just go here. Okay, here we go.
Now, and Ashley, this video giving us a new look into her heartbreaking past.
Faye, Emily Pike disappeared from a Mesa group home multiple times. The final time she left, the teen never returned and was found dead outside the valley. Before we aired this story tonight, we sat down with members on both sides of Emily's family so they could see the video we're about to show you in full, as still so many questions remain. It's important to note here, some of the video is tough to watch.
Emily, can you please stop for me so I can talk to you?
September 20th, 2023, a Mesa police officer spots then 13-year-old Emily Pike walking along a canal after she was reported missing by her group home.
No, I don't want to go back.
I know. Let's talk, okay?
Rest in peace, Emily.
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. You're not in trouble, okay?
As we've reported, Emily reported 2 sexual assaults before being placed in foster care. The San Carlos Apache tribe placed her in a home operated by Sacred Journey, Inc.
I just want to see my mom. Did you get the name of the group home? Sacred Journey, Inc. Did you get that, Lady Red?
Yep, I heard it.
Okay.
Well, we'll call your mom, okay? It's okay. Well, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on.
I want to stay with my grandma instead. Emily repeatedly saying the group home was not her home. She was reported missing 2 other times that year, but police records show she was either found or later returned.
Did she ever run away then?
Yeah, she had AWOL back then.
This is body cam video from January of this year showing a Mesa police officer taking down the information for Emily when she was reported missing again.
And have you done like a sweep of the house just to make sure that she's not like hiding in the closet or something weird? Okay.
That's what we're supposed to do. I looked under the bed, I looked in the closet, I looked outside, the gate was open, the screen to her window was kicked out.
Emily, now 14, was found weeks later murdered about 20 miles northeast of Globe. The Gila County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation with help from agencies like the FBI and Bureau of Indian Affairs, but there have been no arrests in her case.
So many other questions pop up regarding these videos. When they say we failed her, we all did. It just heartbreaking.
ABC 15 showed the full body camera video to relatives of Emily's on both sides of her family.
I think that's the right approach that officer took right there. I mean, like I said, there's more questions that pop up. Did the tribal social services keep contact with them? How often did they reach out to the group home?
The Department of Child Safety did launch a licensing inquiry into the group home where Emily was staying, but told us they did not believe any action taken or not taken by the home caused the terrible outcome in this case. There is a combined $175,000 reward for information in Emily's case. Both sides of the family say it was hard to watch the videos, but they are committed to pushing for justice for Emily. Back to
So you remember when I asked, when we heard about Emily Pike, I said, where was the family? Her uncle gets up there on the screen and he's all upset. I was asking, where was the family? Why was she there? You heard. They said that she was placed there because she said she had been sexually assaulted twice. Why would you place her in a group home? I don't get that.
That I don't know. That's what they do though, because it happened in the family home.
But who sexually assaulted her?
I don't know. That may be why they didn't allow her to go to the grandmas or the moms, because if it was a family member, they would have still had access to her.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. But why wouldn't you arrest the person that was sexually assaulting her?
Exactly. And
Why
see, that's the
place
thing.
her?
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
but that's what they do though. Like, okay, so from personal experience, when I was removed at 4, like they removed all of the children and had all the court cases and stuff. But when it came down to criminally, like what happened, like there was no time. So they take the children, and so the children feel very much like it's your fault, you're punished, because nothing happens to the parents. They just don't. I think that they think taking their parental rights away is enough punishment.
See, but I don't get it. That young girl begged to go to her grandmother's. I get it now, because it was a family member. But what family?
I don't know. I'm just saying that would be.
Yeah, but that would make sense if she's asking to call her mom, and why can't she go stay with her grandma? It would make sense, since it makes sense. It was a family member or someone associated with the family.
Right. That even if she went with her mom or her grandma, that person would still have access to her.
Yeah. So there's so much more in this case that I want to know about, because none of this, I thought she was a juvenile delinquent. I thought she was causing issues, because that's the only time I know of that you would take a child and place them in a group home. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is my first time hearing this. And when I saw that video, I was like, what the fuck? This young, she was crying, begging to go to her grandma or call her mom. And yeah, he has to follow the law. I get it. I understand that. Now, this man that killed his 3 daughters, did you hear about this one? This is right here in Washington State.
This was just recent, right? They
Yes.
just found them? Yeah.
Yes. So let's listen.
It's another night on the run for the prime suspect, and so far as we know, the only suspect in the murder of those 3 young sisters in Washington
5,
State.
11, and 9?
If you've been following our coverage, you know that Travis Decker picked up his daughters last Friday for a scheduled custodial visit, but the bodies of those 3 little girls, his 3 little girls, were found on Monday near a campground 40 miles away. Court documents say 9-year-old Peyton Decker, 8-year-old Evelyn Decker, and 5-year-old Olivia Decker had each been asphyxiated with plastic bags that were still over their heads when they were found. Their wrists had been zip-tied. Their father's truck, which was found nearby, had 2 bloody handprints on it. And last night on this show, the sheriff leading the manhunt confirmed that those were adult handprints. Today, police put out a photo.
Now, this is what I'm confused about. They have 2 bloody handprints, adult handprints. The girls were asphyxiated. They had plastic bags over their heads and their hands, their arms, where their hands are zip tied. Where did the blood come from?
If it's not his own, I would hate to guess.
That's what I'm saying.
Travis Decker from when he was active duty in the military. Reports indicate he was a U.S. Army Ranger, a paratrooper who served in Afghanistan and is highly trained in wilderness evasion.
Highly trained. Listen to that. They go in behind enemy lines. This guy is scary.
And survival. The Army picture shows how different he might look now if he maybe were shaved. It certainly shows the tattoos that you can look for if you're out looking to spot him. Decker is said to be suffering from complex PTSD and borderline personality disorder. He was married to the little girl's mother, Whitney Decker, for 7 years, and their divorce reportedly was civil. Whitney never fought visitation privileges, but when Travis lost his home and various minimum wage jobs after he left the girls crying unattended at a National Guard armory, he was barred from taking them on overnights. Despite all of that, Whitney says Travis isn't the only one responsible for their daughter's deaths.
What?
She says, quote, the system deserves some of the blame too, because police sent out an endangered missing persons advisory instead of an Amber Alert. Whitney Decker's attorney says, and I quote, we may never know if it could have meant the difference between life and death for those girls, but it could have made a huge difference. Whitney believes, as I do, that something broke inside of him. Everything that he had been living with, everything that had been bottled up inside of him for so long, as far as trauma, just won out, end quote. I want to bring in Bobby Chacon.
But you kill your daughters. You kill your daughters. Hi, Deborah. There you go. It's everyone else's fault. Okay, he lost his home. He still had his truck. She was letting him visit, but now you're saying that the system is to blame as well. You were allowing your girls to go with a man that you know had no place to bring them. Am I missing something here? Am I? Because this makes no sense to me. You know this man had trauma, PTSD. Why wouldn't you let him visit the girls at the home? Why wouldn't you have supervised visitation for those girls?
He's a retired FBI special agent with extensive background in high-risk search and arrests. He was part of the manhunt for the Olympic Park bomber, Eric Rudolph, in the mountains of North Carolina. Boy, that went on forever as well. We thought we'd never find him, and he had some survival skills too, Bobby. First, let me ask you, what are the odds this guy's alive, especially given the heinous and atrocious act that happened to his daughters?
Well, I think the odds are pretty good that he's alive for the time being. I don't know how long that will last. He's probably, I'm certainly not an expert in his mental health conditions, but he's probably still on some kind of a rush of what happened. If he does come in a moment of clarity, he might take his own life, or he might decide to try to do it as a suicide by cop or something like that. But
I said the same thing about Brian Landry when it came to Gabby Petito. When they were saying that I said 3 people went into that national forest. Okay, 2 people came out. I said the parents know. And now they're a different body. Wouldn't you do DNA testing on that? Come on now.
Thoughts are he's probably still out there. It all depends on how much planning he put into this, and I'm sure that the investigation is focused on part of that is focused on part of it is how much planning he put into this.
Well, I think of having enough baggies for 3 little girls' heads and zip ties and something obviously to secure the baggies around their heads, and that sounds like planning to me. We don't just all drive around with that kind of material in our truck, especially if we're homeless.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part of it is, did he have time to go out and stash food resources like Rudolph did in our search? His father had said he had been in those mountains at times off the grid for months at a time. So did he plan on being there this time and putting food away and things like that? So that's going to be part of it. I think the biggest advantage he had right now is a head start. He was due to have those children back to the mother at, I think, 8 o'clock on Friday night, and by 9 she notified the authorities, but they didn't put out an alert until the next day. For some reason, he did not meet the criteria for an Amber Alert, according to the state police. The local police did want to put out that Amber Alert, I think, and the state police who control those boards on the highways said he didn't meet the criteria. And so they were a little delayed in putting out that.
What's the criteria in Washington State for an Amber Alert? Let me look that up. Hold on.
Amber Alert, and we now know that his license plate was seen on a highway plate reader leaving town at some point on Saturday, I believe. So we don't know what happened between, Friday when he was supposed to bring those girls home and really Monday when those girls' bodies were found midday.
Bobby, do you think being homeless is an advantage here or a disadvantage? Because on one hand...
Okay, here is the criteria. In Washington State, an Amber Alert is activated when a child under 18 is abducted and believed to be in imminent danger of serious bodily harm or death. The alert is issued if there is sufficient descriptive information available to recover the child, and the incident has been reported and investigated by law enforcement, with the child, suspect, and vehicle, if known, entered into the National Crime Information Center. What didn't he meet? She knew
They
who
should have had an Amber Alert. I get what the mother is saying. And she's just saying that because right now, I mean, she's in shock. Her children are dead.
But here's one thing he didn't meet. They said the child must have been abducted, meaning taken by someone against their will. They weren't taken against their will.
Once it's past the 3 hours of the agreed visitation, wouldn't that be taken against their will?
That's what I would think.
I mean, that's what I would have pushed for. And maybe she was, and they denied it. Who knows?
Okay.
But I mean, these are children. Why is there even a debate? Like, even if, I don't get it. Like, just do it. What is it going to hurt to do it? The fuck?
That's what I'm saying. If she's telling them he's homeless, he's got severe PTSD is what she's saying. I just read that he refused to sign paperwork for the stuff he needed to do. And why wouldn't you take this seriously? Why not issue it? Granted, they weren't abducted against their will.
So he's not compliant. Wouldn't that be the same thing?
Yep, but he's non-compliant. Exactly. So, okay.
Money to get the supplies that you're talking about to stash in the woods and be prepared for 3 months off the grid. But being homeless certainly does let us know that he knows how to live rough.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think it is an advantage, I think, in this particular case, because people are if he's very used to living in an uncomfortable environment, for us, it would be uncomfortable, but for him, it's not. And they're also used to scavenging for food and in ways of getting a whole of things to eat.
Could you pause it
All
real
these people
quick,
are,
Heidi?
Yes.
Look, if this guy's an Army Ranger, they were saying depends on how much he had to plan. No, he's trained to bug out in a moment's notice.
Yep, he is.
Period.
He is. So he doesn't have to stash yet. They're trained. They're conditioned. They
Yeah.
are fighting lean machines. And look at him when he was in the military. A paratrooper. Do you know what they go through for the training? My son had to go through that because, well, he didn't have to. He wanted to take jump classes. I mean, they break you down. Jesus Christ. Again.
And he's special forces. They said he,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why?
So, yeah, he's trained to bug out in a moment's notice. They're talking about him being comfortable. He gives zero shit about being comfortable. I'm telling you, if it's not raining, we're not training. We're used to being uncomfortable in the military.
Yep.
That's all of their points are it doesn't apply. Does
These
not.
guys sleep when there are bombs and shit going on. They get into those foxholes and they cover up and they sleep.
Yep, you put your Kevlar on, you rest it on the sights of your weapon, and you sleep. And you're tired.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Adept at that. That's how they stay alive oftentimes. And so I think in this particular case, at least in the short term, it's an advantage for him.
But where did the blood come from?
What do you think police are doing right now?
Because they haven't found another body. Where did the blood come from? Two bloody.
Did they test that it's human?
See, but they haven't. But you know what? They haven't said that. And this is an updated report.
Because that's the other thing. Did he store food? He doesn't. If he knows how to hunt, he doesn't need to store food. And he's in the mountains. There's fresh water and caves that would hide him from heat
Especially here in
signature
Washington
searches.
State. Yep.
Yeah.
And when I heard Washington State, I'm like, well, goddamn, let me close up my windows. I had to look and see how far he was away. I'm serious. This is Washington State.
I think they're doing a couple of things, many things at one time. I think they're interviewing family, friends, people that he may have sought assistance from. They're doing the obvious, which is like land searches. Sometimes the only thing you can do is get feet on the ground, boots on the ground in those mountains, which are rugged. Some places you can't even use drones.
Only $20,000? $20,000. He looks nothing like he did when he was in the military. Look at this. Well, I guess he's homeless, but $20,000? Oh, Mari, just the fact that they were asphyxiated to me. Jesus Christ.
The forest canopy is so thick that the drones can't even look through the forest canopy. So if you pick those kind of areas that Rudolph did way back when, you can't even use the technology that sometimes you can deploy. So really boots on the ground, doing grid searches, starting from, where he was, where the kids' bodies were found. Conceivably, he didn't have a vehicle. After that, they found his vehicle. So he's on foot from that point. So you calculate how many miles a day he might be able to travel, and then you draw a map and you draw concentric circles, and you put teams, if you can, you try to put as many resources.
You're trying to figure, you better get an Army expert in there to tell you how many miles they can travel on foot.
That's facts. I'm like, and you don't even know he's traveling during the day. He might be hunkered down during the day in a cave and traveling at night. Like you said, they need to get someone that knows how he's trained.
And get his military records to see how. Come on now, come on.
He's special forces, dude. They bury that like that. He has been put through so much shit.
Yep.
Like,
come on, you need to get better experts here, okay?
And this is a very labor-intensive effort. So while some teams are looking at his background, his family connections, his friends connections, other people just on the ground searching those woods.
Well, Bobby, let's hope at some point they catch this guy
kids.
because I think that mom and the rest of us deserve justice. Thanks so much for being on. Appreciate it.
You don't deserve
Thanks
justice.
for having me.
You're not affected.
Thank you for watching.
The mother is. You're not affected by this. Thank you. Yep, see, and he might be staying close. The other guy was caught 2 miles away from the prison. Now, this one is what got me. This is trigger warning.
Caught on camera, a frightening head-on crash, and investigators believe the man responsible
He tried to kill his wife. Okay, let me play this. Look at this.
Caught on camera, a frightening head-on crash, and investigators believe the man responsible was looking to turn his car into a deadly weapon.
That driver, Anderson Singleton, is facing a list of charges tonight and will remain in custody for now as a Wake County judge decides to keep him in jail.
CBS 17's Baron James joins us live. He spoke to witnesses who say Singleton told him he wanted to die. Baron.
He's going to take his wife with him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Russ and Liz. In fact, that's one of the reasons today the judge decided to add more charges against Singleton, including now domestic violence assault, as well as trespassing, as well as causing threats against his wife, they say. This on top of the other charge, of course, of using his car as a deadly weapon in that crash caught on camera. This head-on car crash caught on camera is just a snapshot of what passerby Jorge Bravo saw unfold as his SUV's dash cam recorded.
No one was ejected. Thankfully, everyone was wearing their seatbelt.
Then what he says he saw and heard up close after rushing over to the smoldering wreckage here on Rock Quarry Road between Fox Ridge Manor and Southgate Drive in Raleigh Saturday morning at exactly 5:57, according to Bravo's dash cam. He tried to help the injured, including 33-year-old Anderson Singleton. Investigators say Singleton intentionally caused the crash.
He was like, oh, that's not an accident. I was trying to kill my wife and myself. We were fighting each other. We were trying to kill each other. We're definitely going to need the psych ward. And I thought that was a very interesting thing for him to just kind of blurt out. And he just like confessing all this.
Watch as we slow down the video. Raleigh police say Singleton, behind the wheel of this black Honda CR-V on the right of your screen, crosses the line, swerving into oncoming traffic and right into this brown Toyota Camry, injuring the two men inside. Singleton's wife, who was in the car with him, was also injured in the crash.
I noticed the passenger side, a woman on the black sedan kind of just falls out of the passenger door and just kind of just lays there.
According to court documents, officers said Anderson Singleton did not appear to be impaired at the time of the crash. During his arraignment Monday, the judge ordered Singleton to stay away from his wife and denied bond on the charges, which include domestic violence assault and stalking to assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, careless and reckless driving.
He was fighting with his wife. He gonna do a head-on collision with innocent people because you're trying to kill your wife and yourself. Why don't you just run into a pole or a tree?
I'm telling you, that's people do shit like that. It's nuts.
Can you imagine if they were on a highway and there's a big rig truck, an 18-wheeler?
Can you? Oh my God.
This man is
And
crazy.
crossing into oncoming traffic.
That should be attempted murder.
And police.
Thank you.
3 counts.
Attempted
Three
murder.
counts. 3 counts.
He's crazy.
Both of the victims, the passengers in both cars, were taken to Wake Med with severe but non-life-threatening injuries. Meanwhile, Singleton and the other driver weren't seriously injured, and so far, no next court date has been set for Singleton as the investigation continues. For now, live outside Wake County Justice, downtown Raleigh, Baron James, CBS 17.
What is wrong with these people these days? What? Oh, did you hear about the sheriff?
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Tonight on Eyewitness News at 6, Only 9 investigates Shannon Butler has the sources to bring the big story of the arrest of Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez after years of digging and asking the right questions.
Marcos Lopez is in federal custody.
And we were the first to show you the moment he was taken into custody in his sheriff's uniform, an arrest that took him by surprise.
This will mean that a new sheriff will need to be appointed.
And right now at 6, we have a team of reporters to break down the charges, his troubled past, who will take over his department, and what's next in his case. Our live team coverage starts now.
The sheriff.
Only we were there as it all unfolded here in Orlando early this morning, and we've been breaking new developments ever since. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigalski.
I'm Darlene Jones. The sheriff showed up there at a Homeland Security investigation office, only to be handcuffed moments later. There it is. On charges of conspiracy to commit racketeering at a massive multi-million-dollar gambling ring. Here you see on the left his mugshot taken as he was booked into the Lake County Jail, and video there on the right of his arrest. We have a team of reporters across Central Florida tonight to bring you every angle of this major.
Now, will we be surprised if Grady Judd is actually arrested one day? I don't think so. Oh my God. I don't think so.
Story from what's happening now
Heidi.
to what's next.
Huh?
I gotta drop down. My phone is hot and I can't
Go
charge
ahead,
it.
girl.
Okay.
Go ahead. I got this. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
We start with Channel 9's investigative reporter Shannon Butler live at that federal building in Orlando. And Shannon, you were the first to break details here on air and online, and a lot has happened since just before 10.
I want to ask you, but the guy, did you see him trying to kill himself and his wife?
That was the clip before this, I think.
Yes.
So, in the car.
Yes.
He could do what he wanted to do to himself, but when he's involving other people, that's weird.
But that's what I'm saying. Why not hit a tree? Why not go and hit? That is attempted murder. Three counts of attempted murder. And he hasn't been charged with that.
No.
Yep, that's the same sheriff that released the photo of Madeline Soto's unalived body. That's him. That's the same person. That's him.
You arrived there this morning.
Yeah, we're here where Marcos Lopez's Denali is still sitting here behind me. It took just minutes from him to go inside this building to the Lake County Jail. We know that because we were here when it all happened. HSI investigators tonight making it clear that no one is above the law. Marcos Lopez walked into this federal building this morning, but just minutes later stripped of his gun and his badge, put in handcuffs and read his rights, asking agents what this was all about. What it was about was a months-long investigation for racketeering. Today he was arrested and booked in the Lake County Jail. According to HSI, the investigation started in 2023. The allegations that Marcos Lopez was involved in a massive gambling operation, one that was up and running here in Central Florida, not only in Osceola County, but also in Lake County. It's also one that brought in more than $20 million. Investigators saying it all started after Lopez took office in 2020. The gambling operations were allowed to set up illegally and run in his county, all in exchange for cash. Investigators writing, quote, Sheriff Lopez played a multifaceted role in expanding and protecting this illegal enterprise while using his office to shield the enterprise from law enforcement. He was immediately suspended by the governor, as others were also arrested. But this could be just the beginning. Investigators telling us more warrants are being served and more arrests could be coming. Now, we were told that Marcos Lopez did not make a statement inside, which we could figure that out just as quickly as this happened. Like 3 or 4 minutes, he walked inside and was taken quickly by car to the Lake County Jail. We are told, though, there are more, quote, targets in this investigation. It's not clear if they are witnesses or they will be arrested, but it is clear this investigation is long from over. In Orange County, Shannon Butler, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And Shannon, you were able to break this story after years of investigating this sheriff and his office.
Yeah, we first got a tip on this story probably about 6 months ago. We have tried since then to kind of work this situation to try to figure out just how many people were in.
They've been investigating him for years, but they let him keep his gun, his badge, and keep that position. Does that make sense to anybody? Debbie, are you there? What?
I don't know, like, it just seems like special preference was given to him.
Just like the mayor of New York. Anyway, let's finish. And then I want to talk with John Paul Miller, and then we're out of here.
Involved. As you know, the sheriff has had controversies before at that department. So we were trying to weed through exactly what may or may not have happened here. But today, those rumors came to be true as the sheriff was arrested here in Lake County, again, under investigation now for racketeering charges. Martha.
A major story in our community. And of course, you're leading the way. Excellent reporting. Thank you. Darlene?
Martha, now the suspended sheriff is not the only one implicated in this case. As you heard Shannon mention, there are four other alleged accomplices here. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is learning more about the people identified by the Attorney General's office.
On the club's TikTok, you can see Eclipse Social Club repeatedly promoting gambling. The social media page calls the establishment a casino with a lot, fish tables and computer games with daily promotions. You can see the wall of the building lined with at least 20 video slots and other gaming machines. But according to the court documents, this is where the five, including Sheriff Marcos Lopez, was involved in racketeering, an illegal gambling operation. According to the state business record, Sheldon Witherholt was the manager of this social club. Ying Zhang, who also goes by Kate, is listed. Witherholt, Zhang, and Marcos Lopez are accused of keeping the gambling house, unlawfully having slot machines, and setting up or promoting a lottery. State prosecutors say Sheriff Lopez and Ying Zhang were also involved with money laundering, so disguising the money collected from this illegal gambling operation. Two other women are listed in court documents as employees or agents of this operation, including Sharon Frederick and Carol Coate.
Who the hell are
Ashlyn
these
Webb,
people?
Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
Who the hell are these people? But I still don't get it. How do you not, if you've been investigating him for years, why are you still letting him have that position? Yeah, she's on Amazon shopping. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Or she's looking at what she's going to BJ just to get.
No, I was actually going through emails.
But anyway,
maybe they've, because he's the chief of police, they've allowed him like these special perks because he's not convicted yet.
But no, they were investigating him. How didn't he know that he was being investigated? Something is weird here. And someone just said the DA is up for re-election. But this is coming from the Attorney General too. And this is crazy. But I want to talk with JP Miller real quick before we get out of here. So not only JP Miller, but his daddy. Okay. JP Miller's daddy. Okay. He was hit with a default order. This happened Thursday because he's not responding to lawsuits. You know, the lawsuits with him and you know, with the sex abuse and all that other stuff. So in February, a lawsuit had been filed, and he's now saying he's broke, okay, is what he's saying. But this, the lawsuit said that men that were in position in the church as leaders, they exploited victims, okay? You remember the young girl that I told you about that said that she was assaulted by JP when she was 15? That happened at his dad's church. That lawsuit was filed, okay? The dad has also been added in there with Jane Doe and Jane 1, Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2, because they said the father was there watching, okay? So they gave him time to submit his response. He has not. So he has been hit with a default, okay? Now, if he doesn't respond to any of this, he's going to forfeit whatever property and anything that he has. He's saying now that he's broke. Now, on the other hand, JP, John Paul, Pastor John Paul, married Chris Skinner's wife, who, you know, Susie Skinner, the night that the day after he announced, or the night before he announced Micah's death, or the day of, he was out with his mistress, whose husband Chris happened to drown in the pool, who was a quadriplegic, and he was their marriage counselor. And at the time he had married Micah. Jesus Christ, he was still with Micah at the time. So he now got married after the death of his wife, the alleged exercise, the unaliving. It has been a little over a year since this happened. So now he's now married to Susie. Okay, so don't we find this funny? They had a beach wedding. They were just, I tell you, they are both married, and he's facing 2 lawsuits for sexual assault against underage girls. What? You married this man? His wife's been dead a little over a year. Your husband accidentally drowned on Labor Day at a swimming pool that he would go to all the time, and he just didn't have brakes that day. And who was the first on the scene when this happened? Pastor John Paul Miller and his wife, and Chris Skinner's wife. No, I didn't see the video you sent. Hold on, let me go look. I haven't been, except for the TikToks, I have not been really on, because I have been really, I told you I had an impromptu trip. I haven't looked, Wisco. Let me go look. I noticed that Debbie hasn't been sending me a lot of stuff too. So that tells me that she's busy. Look, that tells me Debbie's busy. When Debbie don't send me a bunch of stuff, that tells me that she's busy. Wisco gal. Wisco gal, I don't see anything from you. How long ago did you send? Wisco, I don't have anything from you. The last thing I have from you is it's about the judge. Did you send it to me on TikTok? Because I don't have it. But he married this woman. Now, we heard how they were looking into Chris Skinner's death. That case was reopened. Why do you think they got married? Why? Let's think about it. Chris Skinner's case. You heard his sister did an interview. Chris Skinner's case has been reopened. Why do we think Pastor John Paul Miller is now married to Susie Skinner? Is it to keep her from testifying against him? No, Chris Skinner, not Jenner Skinner. Why do you think, Debbie, why would he marry her? In South Carolina, are you allowed to testify against your husband? Because her husband's case, his drowning has been reopened. Something is not right about that drowning.
Oh dear. Oh well, I know spouses can't well, they're not required to testify against each other. That's interesting.
So he's being sued for assaulting a 15-year-old when he was 19. And then the daddy was watching from the vestry. So yes, these lawsuits were filed in February. I showed the lawsuits. We have Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2. They are filed against John Paul Miller, Reginald Wayne Miller, the nation's Cathedral Church, Cathedral Baptist Church, and Solid Rock Ministries. Why do we think he now decided to marry? Oh, you addicted to TikTok now? Yep, they're not allowed to testify. They reopened Chris's case when? About a month or two ago is when I showed that. About a month or two, maybe a month ago, they reopened his case. And his sister was so happy that they're taking another look at his case. Now he's married to Susie, Chris's widower, who he was their he was giving them marriage counseling as he's sleeping with the man's damn wife. The whole family is crooked. The daddy is a pedo. The son is an abuser. The daddy is an abuser and a possible alleged killer. So I'm just saying alleged, okay? Let's see. Yet when someone else consented at 19, everyone calls her a baby who was groomed. See, that's just it. There's a okay, Wendy, I see what, because you're talking about Cassie and Diddy. I get where you're going with this. This is the thing of power, and that's the same thing with Micah. It's power. I get where you're going with that. I get where you're going with it, and I understand it. He groomed Micah at a young age. He alienated Micah from her family. Micah was living in his home with him and his wife. He groomed her. Even when she got married, he married her to the guy she was married to first, and he was still having sex with her. She was groomed at a young age. I get where you're going with this. I get it. I get it, Wendy. I get it. I get it. I get it. Debbie, what do you think?
About what? Who are these people we're talking about? Because I'm not familiar with any of the names.
Okay. We're talking about power. Okay. We're talking about Diddy. We're talking about a man. Okay. It's like you're working in a company. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's say your boss. He has the position where he can promote you, get rid of you, or, if he's pressuring you for, sex. And some people turn them in. They face repercussions, even though you're not supposed to, but you do. That person is sitting in power with control over your livelihood. That's the difference here. If it's on equal playing grounds, well, okay, but it's not an equal playing ground. It's not an equal playing field at all. And yes, they got something out of Sean Combs. They thought by doing this, doing that he's going to keep them in a lifestyle that they have become accustomed to. But once you say no, it's just like anything. It's just like with Shannon Sharp. You had consensual anal sex more than once, more than twice. Once you say no, that's no. Yes, and some stay in hopes of recording contracts because he did this. But think about it. Who has Diddy put on since he had Biggie, which I do believe he played a role in that as well? What group has Diddy put on that has become successful? What group? What group? Anybody know? I wish Drea was here.
Well, didn't he have a bunch of them around that same period, though? I think that was his only time.
Yeah, but none of them have been, except for Biggie. And they all cut ties. Mace. Mace was talking shit about Diddy, calling him out.
Well, that's because Mace wasn't getting paid. But wasn't Mary on his label, too?
Mary J. Blige. See, she was with someone else, and then she went to them. He didn't make her. He didn't make her.
What about the short lady, Lil' Kim?
Lil' Kim was with Biggie, and yes, she would fall under that too because L.B. Shore was there at the time, and Andre Harrell was there. Andre Harrell pulled these people in.
So that was Uptown Records, not Bad Boy.
Not Bad Boy. So I'm going to say again, what person has Diddy put on? What person?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. You're looking it up, right?
I'm trying to figure out. Wasn't he one? No, he wasn't 112. Never mind. I don't know. I don't know. Oh wait, Faith.
Who? Faith?
Wasn't Faith with Biggie too?
That's because Faith was with Biggie. That's Biggie's wife. People know who Faith
Right,
is.
but wasn't she signed to them, or was she signed to somebody else?
I know they did the record together after Biggie died. Every Step You Take, yep.
Wait,
So
I'm
that was
confused.
him.
Why did I think Biggie was on Bad Boy and not Uptown?
Uptown.
Oh.
And he wanted to leave.
You sure Biggie wasn't on Bad Boy?
Well,
because
it wasn't Bad Boy before. It was Uptown. It wasn't Bad Boy before. It was Uptown.
Right, but Biggie was signed to Bad Boy.
Yeah, then he changed, and then Andre Harrell, yes. But he didn't, it was Uptown before. But it wasn't because of him, though. It was Andre Harrell.
Okay.
What group has Diddy started? Diddy. That he's put on. What group?
I don't know.
I'm listening. What group? What group?
I don't know.
I'm just...
Stop laughing at me, Wendy. My brain is old. All I can think of was the short
how
lady.
they wanted Diddy to put them on. Put them on the what? Put him on the what? He's been writing off of Biggie's name forever. He was in every video with Biggie. I've never known a producer. And Andre Harrell is the one that got him in. He used to run errands for Andre Harrell. I'm sorry, but I can't. He was at Uptown, Arista, Atlanta, and then Bad Boys. It started with Uptown. It started with Andre Harrell. So, anyway, anything else? Oh, Debbie. Oh, Tom Girardi. That's what I wanted to show you guys before I leave. Hold on. I wanted to show you Tom Girardi, Debbie, because you said you hadn't seen it. So, hold on. Let me get Tom Girardi, who's pretending to be old and feeble, walking out the court. Wait a minute. Somebody was popping in to say something. Hi, Jen's mom. Hi, sweetie. Okay, here we go. All right, Debbie, here we go. Tell me if this man is not faking. Here we go. Look, pay attention, Debbie. Look how he keeps pushing people away. Look.
Tom, the judge still thinks you're faking it.
says, Tom, the judge still thinks you're faking it. This person said, I refuse to believe that it's Tom Girardi we watched in The Housewives. Looks about ready to run for president. He's got 7 years. They said this man doesn't have 87 days. Well, shit, that's the same thing Erica Jane said. He gets 45 days of freedom before jail time. He's going to jail. They won't put him on house arrest. The judge thinks he's faking.
Oh.
Yep, he said, thank you. He signed with Uptown Records. Thank you. He was fired by Andre Harrell. Yep. He started with Uptown with Andre Harrell. Thank you, Wendy. He's looking tan, isn't he? Looks like he has on a diaper and everything. He's faking. I believe the judge. I stand with the judge. Anyway, Debbie, tomorrow we're coming live and we're going to discuss reality. You got to let me know what time, because I know you do running around, and I'll set it today so that way we have no excuse not to show up. We have no excuse not to show up. But he's got a tan. He's trying to look like this old feeble man, and nobody's believing that, Tom. I don't. I think you're faking. Just like when Erica said that you went down, and the car was down there, and then she said the son had to go check on you. Tom, all of this is fake. You need to give them people back their money. Erica Jane goes to court this month or next month. Hold on. Let me tell you when Erica Jane goes to court. Hold on. Erica Jane. Let me tell you when. I think it's this month or next month. Erica Jane. Let's see. When does she go to court? Okay, so here is an update from the attorney on Erica Jane's thing. It says that things have been challenging that the stars living in limbo. Erica's disgraced attorney, blah, 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 blah. She goes to trial. She's facing a $25 million fraudulent lawsuit, which we know that. Her pretrial hearing starts this month, the end of the month.
Damn.
End of the month.
When do Bravo's cameras go back up?
When does what?
Bravo's cameras go back up. Are they going to cover it?
I don't know.
If they don't,
okay, so they said the season 15 storyline is set. Okay, so they will be filming her going to her trial.
I would downgrade her to a friend, because they're not going to be able to go into the courtroom. She's going to be at court and not in the mix. So I would downgrade her to a friend.
Wait a minute. Wendy, Deborah, Monique said on her podcast she wasn't going back to Potomac.
She is.
So now she's going back?
Monique's going back. Yep. And Rachel Zoe is
she
joining
said she wouldn't go
Hills.
back because they asked her. They asked her 2 months ago.
She made
is it true what
today.
we're hearing is that you're going back to... Huh?
Monique Samuels, she announced it today.
Yes. So she had been lying. So they had been in talks.
Yeah, so she couldn't say anything if they was in negotiations, but she's coming back.
I see it now. Oh my God. So she's going back without Chris. Of course, they're divorced now. So she's going to be with Giselle. Oh, did you hear that? What's her name? Britt is suing Bravo.
Yeah, but who cares? It's gonna go into arbitration.
But okay, but does that mean she's not coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Well, the moment that she missed the reunion, she was fired.
That's right. She didn't go to the
That's
reunion.
right. But she was planning to sue them from the time this whole hullabaloo with her and Kenya started. And
Well,
this
of
should
course, because
teach
she has
Bravo
no
a lesson.
insurance
Stop
business.
trolling the gutters for your cast.
Oh my God. So when she was asked 2 months ago if she was going back, I know Candace was in talks to go back to the show as well. Oh my goodness. Yes, we can talk about. Thank you, Wendy. We saw Tammy Romaine get an abortion and have her jaw wired shut to lose weight back then. Oh my God. Yep, it is an oxymoron. And that's when I fell in love with the real world. I forgot the guy's name. I used to know his name. The one that died of HIV.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how
Mhm.
Giselle feels about Monique returning.
She is a woman on an island, honestly. She has tried to form some sort of alliance with Ashley, but Ashley can't be trusted. And
She's only going to be a friend.
yes,
She's not going to be a full-time cast member.
yes, they're right, too bad minded.
Yep.
But
She's only going to be a friend to the show.
huh?
She's only going to be a friend to the show. She's not going back as a full-time cast member.
She'll soon be a full-time cast member.
Yeah. They're going to test the waters to see how it
I
works.
bet you anything they was talking to both her and Candace without either of them knowing, hoping to get both of them back at the same time. But I feel Candace might have found out and opted out.
Ooh. Ooh. Because I know they were talking to them at the same time. At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I know that Chris wanted to do the show, meaning, what? Pedro?
Yeah,
What
Pedro's
Pedro?
the guy from
Oh, yeah, that's
Engage.
his
Yeah.
name. Pedro. Yes, that's his name. Thank you, Pedro from HIV. I loved Pedro. Oh my God, I fell in love with Pedro. Fell in love with Pedro. I thought she meant, oh, and we got to talk about Chantel tomorrow too. And I don't know what the fuck is going on with her face, her body, nothing, and her talking through her damn teeth. So we're ready. All right, guys. Is there anything else we want to talk about tomorrow so I can make sure that I'm on my game?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I gotta. I'm gonna go to the vape shop. Yes, I'm going to get me another vape. I'm going to get one that has with no THC and none of that shit. I'm going to the regular vape shop, which I don't know if they're. I think that one does both. But I'm going to get me a vape.
You need to break off of those because it's still chemicals that you're putting in your body.
Oh, wait a minute. His partner Sean passed away in 2013 at 44. You know what? I saw the premieres for that. I'm going to do that today. I would do that today. I will do that today. I love Taraji P. Henson. She and my sons went to the same schools. Oh my God. I will watch it. So Debbie, is there anything good that you're watching right now that I haven't watched?
Jamal asked me to watch the Real Housewives of Mormon or Mormon Wives or
The real
the Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah, the Real House with the Real Lives of Mormon. Ann is watching that. Cooch is watching that as well. I saw one episode.
I got through season 1
No,
and the first episode of
vape
season
the
2.
THC. Do I want to vape? No. The THC has. Wait a minute. THC has Isn't that
I
marijuana?
think so.
I don't want that. No, I don't want. I don't want that.
Wendy.
I don't want that. No, Wendy, no. No means no, Wendy, no. Wendy trying to get me messed up. No, Wendy, no. No, Wendy, no. Look, no, Wendy, no. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. No. I can't stand the smell of marijuana. I never could. Never could stand the smell
Wait,
of it.
Young Jock was on Diddy's label? Oh my god.
Yes, he was.
Oh, and I forgot Danity Kane.
Yeah, but they didn't go nowhere.
That's because he broke them up. Total was on there.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Carl Thomas was on there. And I was right.
Oh, yes, Carl
112 was part of them. I was right. And Shine, well, the only thing that he succeeded at was getting prison time. French Montana.
Yeah, but now he's an ambassador. Now he's an ambassador. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. That's
I
it.
didn't know French
That's
Montana was on Bad Boy. What did he do? Who's he with now?
Yeah, he's not with them anymore. Bye, Mari.
Did his name and the DJ Khaled get called in something?
Yep. They were mentioned during the trial.
Oh, the guy sex worker. Remember when the police was interrogating him like all those years ago? Did he call DJ Khaled and French Montana names?
Yep. And Janelle Monáe. Oh, Janelle was on there. Yes, Janelle Monáe.
She was?
Yep, Janelle Monáe. But they all left him.
Oh, my.
I think he was trying to get J-Lo to sign with him, but she wouldn't.
No, he helped her get her deal with Tommy Mottola. She had clear sights for what she wanted, and she wanted a real record label, Sony. So he helped her with that.
Yep. Hi, Dustin. But we will see. But guys, I gotta go. Debbie, I love you. Love you. You guys have a great Saturday. And I will see you guys later. And I think we've covered everything. Right there?
Yep.
All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.